Good afternoon, folks. This is Liz with Dice Priority and Community Theater. We're back to bring you Pugmire, anthropomorphic doggos that have survived the bark apocalypse and are here to go on an adventure in the Great Cat Conspiracy. Um, I bring you some beautiful faces this week to join us, and then we'll come back and bore you with the rest of my announcements. Let's also put some background music on before I forget. Alrighty. Alrighty. So let's just go top to bottom here. Amy, would you like to introduce yourself? And we'll do characters here in a little bit.
Okay.
This is all about you.
Oh my goodness. I am Amy. I've been playing TTRPGs for like a long time. Um, I am currently in two actual play podcasts. One is Cornfields and Kobolds. One is Not Quite Heroes. They're both very good. Um, and then I'm also on a stream with the Nerd Asylum that's doing a Dark Matter campaign called Sunrunners. So if you want to check out any of those, by all means.
Sunrunners is amazing. Go watch it. Just gonna say it's good. It's
I'm
real
glad.
good. Jeff.
Yeah, hello, I'm Jeff. I have also been playing TTRPGs for a while. I am also technically on two actual play podcasts, although neither have been released yet. One is Lord knows when, hopefully next year. But the other, Pod Against the Machine, will be hopefully releasing this winter. That's an Iron Gods Adventure Path, Pathfinder First Edition. Yeah, and stream-wise, no, I just this is my third community theater stream, so I guess I'm like a veteran or something. Probably not, but we'll go with journeyman. That's probably too complimentary, but yeah. Hello.
And of course, Paul.
Hey everybody, Paul. Basically, not a whole lot to me. I'm not as famous as these other two, and our famous storyteller here with all the stuff she does on Diasporia herself. I've made a few appearances throughout the games. I did a very short run with a Vampire the Masquerade one with Soul Bear and Welcome to the Party when they did a big 3 trilogy there. But other than that, I just kind of lurk between the various discords. There's not a whole lot that I've done online yet, but hopefully to change that in the years to come.
Yeah, well, we're glad to have the three of you. Thank you for joining us. So announcements here. Make sure that you're supporting Animal Helper if you can. If you're out on Facebook still, I know it's a bit of a trash fire, but if you're out there, reshare their stuff so that these animals can get the donations they need. Download Rescue Walk and Wolf Tracks, so every time you're out taking a walk by yourself or with your fluffy four-legged, you can support an animal charity. Let's see, we've got Animal Helper. We have merch out at So Nerdwear. All of those designs were created by the same person who created this amazing overlay. And you can go support us there. Dice Envy, we work with them. I should keep up on these things. If you go buy their dice through our link, you support us, you support a great small business, and their dice are amazing. We roll with them on a regular basis here. I think all of us own at least a little bit of Dice Envy dice, because I at some point ended up with
Oh, I love those. I wanted to order
Infinity
some last
Boards.
time so bad.
Yep, the metal ones. They do the health ones. They have Zelda-looking ones, and they have magic missile ones that are adorable. Yeah, they're so cute. You have to go get them. All right. Otherwise, all of our links and socials and Discord and everything are below. And then one more announcement, and then we can get this game started. Two of our board members went out into the world and created, for better or for worse, a game that you can go play that is currently that has been published by Green Ronin Publishing. They just completed Feral Hogs. Yeah, so you can go buy that module that is run in the D20 Modern system. I'm sure if I ping somebody in Discord, they'll put or not in Discord, but in chat, they'll put a link so that if you want to go buy Feral Hogs, harass my husband here. See if it's the age system. I am a terrible person that doesn't remember anything, so it's not modern. It's in the age system, which is a lot of fun. Stunts are amazing in that system through Green Ronin Publishing. Feral Hogs. Once we have a link, go buy it. It's amazing, and it will be a whole ton of fun for you and your crew. The 15 messages telling me that it's the age system.
Which, thank you for paying attention, everyone.
Yeah. So sweet.
I'm sure that link will show up in chat here in a little bit, but you can always look on our Discord. Go follow us. I'll throw them under the bus. They're welcome to answer any questions that you've got on the module. And we do have it out on YouTube when our group played Feral Hogs the first time. So you can go see our amazing faces doing stuff in Feral Hogs. And we do have a one-shot coming up this coming Wednesday. Also in Feral Hogs 2, Eclectic Boogaloo or Electric Boogaloo? Electric Boogaloo. There we go. So come watch us on Wednesday. We'll be back chugging monster and driving monster trucks. It'll be fun. So that's in the age system. That's Green Ronin, and it was written by two of our amazing board members, Chase and Matthew. So it's pretty awesome. All right. So what do we think? Are we ready?
Yes.
Alrighty.
Sure.
So in the world of Pugmire, I'm going old school. We don't have PDFs this week, so.
What is this ancient tome you hold?
What?
It's
that a
technology
dead tree?
of the old ones.
A relic of the old ones.
Oh,
A
yes.
relic of the old ones. Alrighty. So under the guidance of trustee Fiona Corgi of the Royal Pioneer Society, the pioneers have now just returned from a successful mapping expedition in the mountains north of Pugmire. And that would be you guys. The group returns to Pugmire to check in and rest, where you have a knock on your door. And they don't stick around for you to answer it. They, not knowing if you're sleeping or what have you as you're coming back from adventures. So if I can multitask, they slide a note underneath your door. What are the three of you doing in your rooms, and what would you like to do with this note?
I'd say right now I'm probably about halfway to answering the door, so I'll go ahead and pick it up, I guess. Maybe like open the door. Can I see anybody like leaving?
You see the innkeeper walking away from the door, knowing that you guys just came in, didn't want to disturb you too much.
We're just
so.
like, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I'll basically just sit up in the bed and everything and look toward Althea as she's coming away from the door with the paper in her hand. So, what do you have there, Althea?
Let's find out. I'll open it and give it a read. Probably out loud, because, it's for all of us, I assume.
Awesome. Then go ahead, and I have opened it in Roll20 for you.
Whoa! Guys, I'm super good at using Roll20. I just feel like I should tell you.
I can read it if you'd like me to.
No, I got it. My dearest friends, I have heard reports of your recent successes and wish to speak with you on matters of very great importance. Please join me at Apolda
Close enough.
Manor at your earliest convenience. Heinrich Doberman. Oh.
So, and as you ponder this letter, you want to go ahead and describe your characters.
Well, Spike is a pretty average height dog and everything. He's kind of a soft grayish white color with some black, darker black spots about him. When you look at him, if you know what a Staffordshire is, he has a lot of appearances that looks very much of that. But other than that, his typical dress is just the hides that he's managed to acquire over his adventures and stuff, and basically just looks pretty plain and average.
Jeff, you want to go ahead and describe Dex for us?
Yeah, Dexter, or Dex as he's known most commonly, he is a Basenji. So he is a smaller hound, mostly chestnut with a bit of white in his fur. He wears sort of if you could imagine a dog in a merchant's robe without it looking ridiculous, looking like it was on purpose. He looks like that. So basically 100% adorable, boopable snoot, the whole package. And he has a rapier at his side. And I imagine when the knock came on the door, he was probably looking through his rucksack at any of the findings that he had acquired in their recent expedition.
Perfect.
Althea is a Saint Bernard. She's rather large, as Saint Bernards tend to do. Typical Saint Bernard coloring. She's wearing a sort of longish chain shirt under some like loose, kind of warm clothing, and she's got a sickle on her hip and a crossbow strapped to her back. And she also has a necklace with like a little tiny cask-shaped, little tiny cask on it. Charm. There's a potion in it, I hope.
As soon as you said Saint Bernard, I went, okay, there's the rescue dog with the little cask of ale on her neck.
Oh yeah.
Perfect. So as you three are sitting in this chamber, you've got this letter from Heinrich Doberman, and a little bit of background on the Doberman family. They are a well-known and very wealthy family within the Pugmire universe. There have been whisperings and rumors that Heinrich himself, the head of the family, has machinations on the throne that is currently held by Puggington Pug. Or Puckington Pug, excuse me. And as you know this, you know that he calls adventurers to take on tasks, and as you guys are coming back from one and getting your rest, how would you like to respond?
I'll look over at the other two. It's like, so do y'all want to go to Alpado Manor to speak with the Doberman family again?
I mean, I suppose.
I, for one, would not object to more coin in my rucksack. My puppies have many mouths to feed.
Oh.
Well, then, what time of day is it right now?
Would you rather it be the morning after you've gotten back, or the evening that you returned? We can do either or.
Well, I'm fine with doing the evening of, and then we can got the letter just as we were crashing, and then basically wake up in the morning and head out from there.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Same.
So evening time. Probably right after dusk. So you could still see outside with a partial moon, but not so light that you wouldn't welcome a torch on the more darker paths.
Okay. Well, then I'd say since all three of us seem to be interested in visiting with the family again, then we say we get a good night meal, drink, and then we turn in and head out at first light.
Sounds good to me.
Perfect. So you'll know that Alpolda Manor is on the northern edge of Pugmire, the city, and it has and as inviting and homely as the rest of the city is, including the King's Castle, oddly enough, Alpolda Manor is definitely a world upon itself. It's set behind reinforced gates patrolled by dogs of various families. The ancestral home of the Doberman family is palatial, closely rivaling the size and splendor of Castle Pugmire itself. So they've set themselves apart, and it's a huge complex. So once you've gotten your rest and good breakfast in you, knowing that some of these nobles are not always up at the crack of dawn, you approach the impressive and imposing main gates. Let me change that. Would you rather walk up to the main gates or come through the servant gate on the side?
Probably main gates. I would assume if we got a note about it.
Yeah, and if we've worked for the family, is that where we typically have gone through before, or has it been a kind of mixture of the two? Or
yeah, so if you're doing a quest that's an ongoing thing, you've used the servant gate previously. You've also used the main gates just to come and go and have your presence be noted.
I'm in agreement with Dex and Althea about just using the main gate right now, unless we're told otherwise.
Yeah.
Perfect. So as you approach the main gates, they are large, they are impressive, and they are guarded by two very large cane Corso dogs in crisp pressed Doberman uniforms. Halt! State your business.
I look back at Althea. You're the one with the note. You get to talk to him.
Oh, okay.
And then I just kind of grin and step to the side.
She kind of, steps forward and is like, well, we were summoned by Heinrich. I have this message from him, and we are here to see him about the matter in the note.
You have a note?
Yeah, I hand it to him.
He kind of looks at it but doesn't take it from you, as he doesn't move his staff or himself. Are you sure you're not supposed to enter using the side gates? I mean, most cleaning crews and deliveries are at the side gate. I'm assuming you're bringing something for...
Oh, no. We've been doing some, I guess one would say adventuring jobs.
It kind of gives you a side eye. Go ahead and roll me a charisma check.
Ooh, that wasn't bad. Gotta find my character sheet. There she is. That'll be a 18.
Okay. So he kind of looks the three of you up and down again, taking note of any weapons you're carrying on you that are visible, etc. And with a less than pleasant huff, he moves to the side and lets you through the smaller gate, as there is a smaller gate so that the whole big gate doesn't have to be opened every time.
Mhm.
And he opens basically like the guard door on the gate and lets you through.
Thank you so much, dear.
Um,
Dex will bow his head and follow Althea inside.
And I'll follow the other two. Make sure I'm the last one. Keep an eye on the guards as I walk through.
and so pretty much immediately, which you weren't expecting that after getting the side eye from the guard, there is a servant pretty much immediately there to escort you to the main receiving room, which you've been in before. And it isn't quite a throne room, and the chairs of the three nobles are sitting are not quite thrones, but they're plush enough that they could be. And it's easily the size of a large home with three overly large chairs set at one end. And even in this early morning hours and the bit of a short notice of your appearance, you already see the largest chair is filled by Duke Heinrich Doberman. Even though he's been retired for some years and has a lot of gray on his fur, he still wears his military uniform resplendent with rank, medals, and other decorations. To his right is his Duchess, Viveka Doberman. Her dress matches Heinrich's coat perfectly and must have cost more plastic than a working dog will see in a year. Lastly, to Heinrich's left sits Graf Doberman, his eldest son. His dress is more school than military uniform, but it's still as crisp and expertly pressed as his father's. Friends, thank you so much for coming quickly. I know you are all tired from your recent adventures, but this is a vital matter, and I think you are just the dogs to help us resolve it quickly and quietly. As you know, my family has been entrusted with supplying the good dogs of Pugmire with iron ore for their forges. The mines to the north have been in my family for generations. Ever since the hounds left to found Houndton, and we have always taken pride in their efficiency. Recently, however, a band of villainous cats has been raiding the storehouses of the nearby village of Ellendonk and interfering with the supply lines coming back here. I would send my own forces there to handle the situation, but, well, it would seem something of an embarrassment that the situation has gotten this bad. I would very much appreciate if this could be handled with a measure of discretion. Between friends, you understand. I'm also willing to handsomely reward you for your service, of course. I just want to make sure that you understand how important it is to not only prevent any future problems in Ellendonk, that's a fun word, and to bring the foul cats to justice. We cannot afford a lengthy trial here in Pugmire, so it's best to handle things in the field, as it were. I think we understand each other, yes?
Of course. Anything we can do to help.
I look over at Dexter and just see what kind of reaction he's giving.
Dexter just he kind of eyes Spike out of the corner of his eye and just again kind of respectfully bows his head to Heinrich and says, "To clarify that we understand one another, when you say to handle things in the field, what sort of proof do you require that we have accomplished this task?"
That is a great question. As he settles back into his chair, if you look to each side, the Duchess, her expression starts to get just a little bit darker as you guys talk and converse with the Duke, and the son is kind of sitting back and attentively listening and trying to keep his face as blank as possible. You see the Duke kind of take a deep breath, and I will trust that the deed has been done, as there will be no more interfering with our lines. No need to bring back any trophies.
All right. Um, may I ask what would be keeping you exactly from giving these felines a fair trial?
Do you give every dog on the road or cat even? And you hear that cat has a bit of a disdainful edge to it. Does every cat on the road that tries to steal from you deserve a fair trial? No. The answer is no.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what else you would need from me. Not like I have to explain my dealings and my business with you. I can provide you with a map to Ellendonk and a couple of healing potions, but other than that, I'm not sure what else there is you need from me. If you're going to accept this, I would just ask that you take care of the problem.
Consider it done.
Yes, Lord. Was it Lord Heinrich? Heinrich, yes. We shall proceed as soon as possible to the northern mines and do what we have to secure your shipment lines back here to Pugmire.
Yep. Is there anything else that I can do for you?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
Then he will dismiss you with a wave of a paw and go back to lounging in his throne-like chair.
With the waving dismissal of his hand, Spike just turns and starts heading to the door and looks over his shoulder to make sure both Dexter and Althea is following too.
Awkwardly walking out.
Yeah.
Yeah, heading right back out towards the front gate to make that clear. Oh, I'm not going out the servant gate today.
I assume somebody gets us a map on our way out.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Spike stops at the door and turns to look at Althea and Dex. Did he give you all the healing potions?
So as you guys are attempted to be ushered towards the back exit rather than straight back out through the front doors, you're handed a map to Ellendonk and and 3 potions of healing.
Thank you so much.
But the servants are not going to fight you if you try to go back out the front doors. They'll fret and probably annoy you, but they won't fight you.
Yeah. No, I mean, Spike will follow with us being in the house of a Doberman and being a noble within Pugmire. If we are getting gently just suggested to follow a way out other than the main door, Spike follows that. He doesn't interfere with trying to go back out the front door.
Yeah, I'll follow the boys. Althea doesn't really get it yet. But yeah, she's like, oh, we're going this way. Okay.
So in looking at the map, you can tell that even though you have not been to Ellendonk before, that it looks like it would be about a week on foot and half a week by horse. How would you like to get there?
Well, I suppose if possible, we should get there quickly. Especially since I seem to have accidentally annoyed.
I'm sorry, I had a hard time hearing what you said then.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't speaking up like a smart person. It would probably be good to get there quickly if we can, especially since I seem to have accidentally annoyed him.
So, well, all commoners annoy nobles families quickly. We apparently are beneath them.
That is very strange.
Well, we can look to see if we can find mounts to ride. Do either one of y'all have any contacts here within Pugmire? Most of my contacts are down in Mutttown. I just happened to be up here in Pugmire when we first were hired as a group to handle work for the Doberman family.
My contacts are very far away, so
I just turned to Dexter. Well, I guess that leaves
Yes.
you.
Well, look, fortunately for us all, my contacts are all over, including this town.
Well, then I think what we need to do is find ourselves, because looking at the map that they gave Althea, how many days do you expect this journey to be? By way of looking at the map.
I think she said about a week on foot, half that on horses. So it depends.
So we're looking at 5 days or 4 days up, 4 days back. So we need at least about 6 days worth of food. We can supplement hunting for anything that we have with our rations.
Yeah. And then you'll know that there is a route indicated on the map that is considered a preferred route by the Dobermans that would take you a little bit off the beaten path and through the forest. So having some warm clothing and extra ammunition for hunting and what have you would be smart. We won't walk you through a shopping episode.
And then the
I
whole
was gonna
stream was a
beg.
shopping episode.
I was gonna beg for at least 40 minutes spent
I was so ready.
shopping. Man, okay. I should have cleared that before we started the adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you want to shop, we can absolutely shop. But if you don't want to shop and you just want to travel, we can do that too. Or we can go middle road here and we can get a couple of successful rolls underneath our belt for some shopping that we don't necessarily have to play out.
Yeah, I'm fine just stating that we pick up maybe like I said, 4 or 5 days worth of food. And if any of us use, I mean, I think Althea mentioned that she uses a crossbow, so maybe a little extra ammo there. And I'm just going to pick an extra spear up, so I have 2 spears with me versus just the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dex has a short bow also, so I'll make sure I have plenty of arrows. One thing I was definitely tempted to try would be, as far as the cost of getting mounts go, was going to convince the the stable wherever we go that since this is that the Dobermans said to put it on their tab.
You could absolutely. Let's see. What do you think would be an appropriate check for this based on your skills?
I think bluff, since he absolutely didn't offer that, would make sense to me. As far as difficulty goes, I don't want to start blowing fortune 40 minutes in, but I do have a merchant trick that lets me declare a previously unknown NPC to be a past customer or merchant on good terms with me.
Okay.
Ooh.
So basically
So-
find somebody that you already know and see if you can convince them to, as a buddy, get you some mounts. Go for it.
Yeah.
And I have no problem with you using fortune if you have to for this.
No, yeah, do it.
All right, let me not roll in the Twitch chat. I'll roll on Roll20 instead. Because of all the things I did between setup and go live, I didn't actually grab my physical dice. So bluff is going to be... Sounds charisma-y to me.
Yep.
And
I think there's
I
this. No, not anymore.
am proficient, so a natural 20.
Ooh, boy, howdy. Okay, so second roll of the night, you've got a triumph.
Woo!
Doesn't matter what you add to that.
Yes.
And we'll go ahead and just leave your fortune at 2. So
Awesome.
part of this system has a bowl of fortune, and the book is adorable in the way that it encapsulates it. It sounds like when you play in person, you should have like a dog bowl that you put treats into. That
Oh
makes
my
a
goodness.
bowl of fortune. Yeah, it's so cute. That's what they recommend. But since we're virtual, it's virtual fortune, and this can be used to help or hinder the party and NPCs that they meet along the way. So whenever you do something cool, I can add fortune. Whenever you need to use it, you can take away fortune. So we'll leave that pool at 2 since you rolled a natural 20. All right. So as you approach the uh, local stables here in Pugmire that are available to lease, rent, and or buy horses. Um, to your surprise, an old friend of yours is from an adventure long ago. They finally settled down here in the city. You're able to speak with them directly and bluff your way into uh, 3 horses and grain for those horses to be returned here at the end of the next week, or week and a half or so,
Mm.
8 days, to be put on the Doberman tab. And you've got yourself some horses.
Okay.
Outstanding.
After we're like out of the city gates, Althea just turns to you and is like, "That was not completely honest."
No. No, it was not.
No, but it will help us succeed in doing what the Doberman family have asked us to do.
Oh,
And
I'm aware.
And I'm sure if they have any problem with it, they will just remove it from the plastics they will give us.
I was just teasing.
So, but yeah, so I guess we'll head out as soon as we get the horses and the supplies, and we're out the gate we go.
Woo!
Um,
You can
Dogs
turn-
riding horses. Not weird at all.
Well, I mean, after the fall of man,
Somebody
dogs
got rid of them.
became well, dogs became the uh overwhelming force, dogs and cats actually, and you became anthropomorphic and walk on 2 legs for the most part, and use your front paws as dexterously as some men used to be able to, and um, use the old relics, the relics of the old ones, from the centuries past. Um, I think one of you is fondly remembering of the Zune, if I remember that story.
Yes, yes, it's my firstborn pup. Yeah. I named my 4 children after my 4 most treasured relics of the old ones, and one of those
Nice.
is
Oh
Zune.
yeah. I love that.
yep,
um,
that's very cool.
Alrighty. So as you travel out of the gates of Pugmire, you're able to leave with no issue, um, and you get you're surrounded as you venture farther and farther away from Pugmire. The farmlands fall away, and you enter a forest, and that forest greets you with a sound of birds and small animals, the rustling. Every once in a while, you'll hear a twig snap, and as you in the morning or in the evening, you have that dew that'll stick to your fur, stick to your horse's feet as you pass through brush. Um, and that smell of just those old pine leaves on the ground as you crush them, and the scent of old leaves, new and old, as the leaves are starting to come off some of your trees, as this is a crisp fall day. If everyone could make me a wisdom check.
My dice like me today.
Very good. We'll take that.
Is this to avoid traps?
It is not to avoid traps in a traditional sense.
Okay, I only ask because of a trick that gives me advantage on such rolls.
Nice. We'll try to remember that. If I forget, just remind me.
Happily.
I got an
Oh
oh
no.
oh.
That's okay. What'd you do, Amy?
I got an 18.
18. And Paul, you are muted, my dear.
You're muted, baby.
I had a 4 unless it has anything to do with survival.
You had a
Yeah,
4. Perfect.
I
Yes.
have like natural explorer and stuff. I don't
Yeah.
know if that
Yeah. Nope. I just have the
matters.
survival skill, so
What does Natural Explorer give us?
Um, let me see. Doo-doo-doo. Scrolling. Uh, 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 uh. I double my proficiency on all wisdom checks related to the type of terrain, and I do not need rations in those types of terrain.
And what type of terrain did you choose?
Well, mountains and water.
There we go. So you're heading towards
Super
mountains,
helpful.
so it should be useful.
Okay.
Okay. So it's still you have an 18. So while Dex and
Spike.
Spike are blissfully unaware and enjoying the crisp air with its smells and a general, I don't know, wildlife. And Dex being completely unaware so much that as they're walking along, he ends up hitting the top of his head against a branch and is
Oh,
super
buddy.
distracted by the brush that he feels just attacked him. Um, you, however, Althea, hear noises coming from behind you guys that you've been aware of for a couple of hours, but you haven't wanted to have anyone panic. Um, as when you've looked over your shoulder, you see a dog that is following you.
Hmm. Um, I will kind of get all of our horses like riding as close together as I can, and just be kind of like, gentlemen, we are being followed.
Spike just instantly started looking left and right.
No, no. What would you like to do about this? Shall we confront them?
Do you know where this dog is that's following us?
Behind us.
The old ones speak of serpentine as the way. We shall be
Oh,
like snakes.
we should
And
serpentine.
yes,
Spike just looks at you. Okay, I will follow you.
Yeah, no, let's serpentine. This will be great.
So you're going to try and lose him in the woods.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, roll to lose him. So whatever would make more sense, deception, survival, or even strength if you're going to try and just outrun him.
so sneak would work.
Yep.
All right. Much better.
All right, so we've got a 23 sneak from Dex. What did Althea and Spike decide to do?
I am just going to use my survival to follow the lead of Dex.
Perfect, go for it.
I would like to do that as well.
Yep.
So since I have skill survival, that gets to add my proficiency bonus to my dice roll, so I get an 18.
Very good.
Mm-hmm. And I don't as hard. So I get a like 7.
Hey, your group carries you.
Yay!
So as you fumble a little bit, you're able to catch an eye behind you. And you vaguely recognize Graf trying to follow you, the son of Heinrich. But you are able to, as a group, successfully lose him, as far as you know.
When we meet
But
back up, oh, go ahead.
but you know where he is.
Yes. When we meet back up, I'll be like, it seems that it was Graf.
Why would the son of the Heinrich be following us?
I don't know. I
He
think
may
it might
have been
be.
impressed and wanted to learn from professionals.
I think it might behoove us to go, perhaps go around and sneak up on him
Or
and
we,
ask him.
yeah, or we can. How close is it to nightfall? Is it getting anywhere near nightfall right now?
It can be. Yeah, you guys, I'd say, have been traveling 6, 7 hours. So
Or we can either do that there, or maybe just set up camp and wait for him to catch up, and then invite him to join us. Because one thing I think the Dobermans would be upset with is if they found out he came to follow us and we let him get killed. We then
That
make
is a very good point.
we then make the enemy of a very powerful family.
I, for one, have not seen Graf and would be truthful to say I did not see him follow us at all. But very well, we can set up camp.
So I guess we'll just start going through the routines of setting up camp and everything, but keeping an eye out for Graf. And
Mhm.
if any of us see them, instead of just waiting for him to make a move, we just if Spike sees him, Spike's going to instantly look at him, stare straight at him, says, "Instead of hiding behind that tree, why don't you come join us?"
Mhm.
And so, probably an hour and a half, 2 hours after you guys slow down and set up camp, you hear this. You're all alerted to a twig that snaps on the edge of your campfire light, and rustling in the bushes. That sounds less like wildlife and more like someone who doesn't necessarily have a lot of survival skills.
I I think I'll go investigate that strange noise.
Yeah. And as Althea starts walking that way, Spike's like, "I'm not going to let you go by yourself," and instinctively just grabs spear in one hand, longsword's on his side already, and will follow her, but not be like right up next to her, maybe about 5 feet off to the side, so that we have some strategic advantage should it come into the situation.
Yeah.
I've got my hand on my sickle, but I don't look like I'm gonna use it. It's just for show.
Do you want to sneak up on him or do you just want to try and find him?
Kind of just try and find him, really.
Okay.
What is Dex going to do?
Dex will sort of try and fade into the shadows to just kind of stay near the mounts, make sure that nothing spooks them when they run off, because that would really be unfortunate,
Okay.
considering the length of our journey.
Yeah. So, as you guys follow the sounds of the rustling, you remember that there was a patch of bramble bushes with those like circle sticky things on them,
Oh,
like a
yapers.
burr
Yeah.
bush. Yeah. And you see him inelegantly trying to pull his leg with his pants attached to this burr bush off of it. And about the time that you come out of the bush, out of the forest behind him, he falls over backwards, having released his leg from that burr bush, but now covered in burrs. And as he falls backwards, he looks back and sees you guys and slowly puts his paws in the air.
Oh, darling. I will help him up. Poor thing.
Has the bush still got a hold of him, or did he manage to get himself completely out of it by now?
He's out of it. He's just now covered in burrs.
Okay. Okay. Well, Spike will grab the other side as Althea tries to help him up. Spike will just reach up, like as he gets up, he'll grab like the back of this jacket and stuff, and just kind of help lift him up.
And since he's not used to being man or dog handled in such a way, he is kind of taken aback and doesn't have words immediately. And um, yes, he must be cold because he's covered in burrs. Um,
That's a good
um,
roll.
Thank you, thank you.
um, and then you see him almost collect himself and come back to himself and be like, I'm sorry I was following you. My father hired you to take care of a problem that my family's having, but there is something wrong in what he was saying, and I just need you to know the truth about what my family is involved in. Please, I won't be a problem. Let me come with you. It all kind of comes out in a rush.
Oh, why don't you sit down?
Come back to the campfire
Yeah, just
with us, and then
come
you
with
can
us.
tell us what you mean by these quick words.
Yeah.
Mm, are you sure?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. And he'll follow you back. Definitely not nearly as imposing or confident as his father.
Right.
What a
So
baby.
yeah. Now Spike will walk behind him, and as Althea and him head back, Spike will be behind him, following and just keeping a real close eye on this young pup.
You make it back to camp without incident. He does keep an eye on you over his shoulder, confused at being followed, and not quite sure what to do with this ready acceptance.
I start picking burrs off the poor guy.
Um,
Yeah.
Sit him down by the fire. Oh, have a seat. Have some cocoa. Let me get all these burrs off of you.
and he tries to help and just gets them stuck in his paws.
No, honey, just let me take care of it. Why don't you tell us why you're here?
Well, you took this job from my father, but um, he wasn't entirely truthful with you.
Hmm.
Um,
What
you
a
asked.
shocking revelation, Dex says, appearing out of the shadows.
Oh, hi.
Yeah.
Don't hurt me. I'm sorry. I was following you. I just need to tell you that my dad is wrong about a lot of things, and I don't want you to walk into more trouble than you really need to, because you're not really going after bandits. You're going after escapees.
Oh,
Escapees from who?
do elaborate.
Uh, us.
The
Please continue elaborating.
Uh, well, we've had an issue with well, issue's probably not the right word. People have been liberating um the cats from the mines. Um, and um, my father doesn't want anyone to learn about those conditions, and so he sent you to quiet it up under the guise of bandits.
I see.
Um,
What people have been liberating these cats?
well, themselves mostly. Um, they sneak out, they sneak away. Um, but we can't catch them all, um, which is a good thing. But uh, you seem like you know what you're doing, and we. I don't want you to do something you'd regret.
So if I understand, you're saying that cats are being forced to work the iron mines that then your family sends to Pugmire.
Yes,
Hmm.
we've kept it quiet for at least a generation now that we're using uh, slaves in the mines. But that's who he wants you to catch. I'd rather they not be caught, but helped. He has no idea I'm here. He thinks I've gone on an adventure to go hunting on the other side um, of Pugmire.
What is this compassion you feel towards the cats? Slave or no, I am curious why you would help them, or see them be helped.
Well, if my parents had their way, they would enslave anyone they didn't like or found lesser. Um, and it's not fair. It's not acceptable. I've learned better.
Thank goodness you've learned better. Um, hmm. Personally, gentlemen, I would prefer to side with the young man, but I cannot force you to do that as well. What would you like to do?
I have no love for the cats, but the treatment they are receiving is not right. I too side with Graf, Doberman. Perhaps there is a way that we can appease both sides to save the enslaved cats from this fate, but consider the problem for which we were hired to be solved in a satisfactory manner. For I want to help those unfortunate, but also have mouths to feed, and it would be ideal if perhaps everyone can come out as a winner.
The cats that your father and family are using, where do they come from?
Um,
When two cats love each other,
Very much.
there's a moment of tenderness.
I have an answer to that question. And I read it somewhere.
The little bit that I know about it, is it something called the paw or something like that?
Um, do. Um, so I read it in here somewhere, and then I immediately forgot it. Um, but Heinrich has been so kidnapping moggies and strays to come help to his family for help and sending them to work as slaves in the mines. Um, um, my and Graf is now in his rucksack, and you hear a lot of jingling and a lot of noise coming from his rucksack as he's trying to pull um, pieces out of it, and he keeps taking stuff out and sitting it on the ground as he looks for whatever's in the bottom of his rucksack. And he kind of pauses for a minute when you ask where these um, individuals are coming from, and well, a few places. Um, when those who are unfortunate come to us for help, sometimes they uh, are promised help with the side effect of room and board for work, um, and are sent to the mines. Sometimes they're kidnapped off the road. Um, it depends on. I don't know all of the avenues. I should find out so that I can stop them, but I too many ways and none of them right. And as he says that, he pulls out a bag that you hear is just full of jingling coins, or what you assume is jingling coins, and he kind of sits it down in front of you, Dex, and I assumed you wouldn't help without getting paid, and this is not all of what he promised you for this particular adventure, but um, I hope it's enough. And he kind of sits back on his haunches at the edge of the fire, um, and just waits.
Well, Graf, this changes things. See, I care not now whether your father is satisfied, for my children will still be fed. Let us do what is right and stop these atrocities. We may make an enemy of your father, but in the end, we will still try to be good boys and girls, yes?
I
Also, go ahead, my dear.
I agree that I know I had not stated my point yet, but now that I know that the cats are being taken from the streets when they've come to Pugmire to try to have a better life other than living in the monarchies, that that is wrong, and I will do what I can to help per what Dex and Althea has said.
Also, currency can be gained not only in plastic, but in favors. So, these cats will not forget our kindness.
That is true. That is true. And um, as you accept uh, the change in course so quickly and offering to help to your fullest extent, you see him sit back almost relieved at how easy it was to convince you to do the right thing and to help rather than to listen to his father. Um, as it looks like he hasn't had such success in the past, money or otherwise. Um, and with that, night has fallen. Um, what else would you like to do this evening?
I'm just cook up some food and share it with Graf with what we brought, and Spike will offer to take first watch if y'all wanted to sleep and then wake up one of y'all afterwards.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a wisdom check for that first watch.
How about two? I'm
Two.
sorry, I rolled the natural one, so I botched.
Oh,
Uh, so while
he
you're
fell asleep.
Yep, it was a long, taxing day.
Yeah.
even worse than that, as you're keeping watch, you are you think you've done a good job. You think you're doing everything you need to do, but then you are distracted by the loud snores of Graf, as he is unabashedly sleeping, all sprawled out on the meager bedroll that he brought with him. But as he not only snores in his sleep, he also yips and keeps you super distracted for your watch. Um, however, nothing, as far as you know, bothers the camp.
Okay. I'll wake up Althea next.
Okay.
Uh, Go ahead and roll me a wisdom check.
uh. Sure, I don't have anything. Okay. That is going to be 15.
Okay. So partway through your watch, you perfect. So partway through your watch, you feel the ground rumble. And as the ground is rumbling, you recognize it as giant worms traveling through the forest underground. Um, but as you are aware of them and recognize, you're able to keep them from coming through camp, and they basically go around you guys. So nothing of note besides
Clutch.
that happens on your watch.
All right. Let's wake up our last friend here.
It's awfully nice of Graf to let me sleep. Oh no, you meant me.
Hmm. I don't. I do not trust Graft.
That'd be unwise.
Much.
Something tells me you want a wisdom check.
Yep, if you're gonna take the last watch here.
Yeah, I will. I will ask though, as my due diligence as a player, can I roll notice or does it have to just be flat wisdom?
No, you could roll notice, I
So
believe.
I wouldn't mind having that extra +3.
Perfect.
All right. Uh, looks like a 17.
Very nice. So you'll notice that um, if Althea mentioned the worms to you, that you do feel the ground rumble once or twice, and as you're standing watch, you see an inquisitive giant ant come through and see what's going on around this fire. But with you standing watch and taking notice, and the fire itself, you're able to chase that one off, presuming that the rest of its buddies um, wouldn't come back after that scout. But you make note of them as you travel through this forest that there are larger dangers than yourself.
Awesome.
Yeah. Um,
When Graf wakes up, uh, Dex would like to just have a moment to speak to him and say, "You, friend, young man, have a problem when you sleep of great snoring. I have heard legends of a CPAP machine, ancient relics of the old ones that, if we could find one, perhaps a new quest, you would extend your life and the quality of your rest."
and he kind of looks at you weird. No one's ever told me I snore before.
You mean the servants that are employed to cater to your whims have not told you of this? Color me surprised.
So thanks. And he has no idea what a CPAP machine is. So, cool. We have many relics of the old ones at home. I should ask my father.
It would be wise. I have heard in the words of the prophet Maguire, help me, help you.
I love it. I love it.
Oh. um,
Um, and and while he's never had someone talk to him so frankly before, you see this look of confusion and almost relief that you're talking to him and not ignoring him. Um, so he's not sure what to do with you, but um, he pulls out a notebook and starts scribbling furiously little notes about whatever you just told him.
CPAP question mark? Prophet Maguire question mark?
Yep.
Must
Now,
ask Dad. Yeah.
as Graf is getting himself ready, does he have any type of weapons on him?
Graph? Yes.
Okay.
Hold, please. Um, you see that even though he was a little bumbling earlier, you see he is carrying a short sword and does have a thick coat with him that you guess is probably reinforced and doubles as a light armor.
Okay.
Um, and yes, so he is carrying a sword, but has yet to prove proficiency with it.
Okay. That's all Spike wanted to know. He was in the prep getting his mount ready and everything. Looked back at Graft and realized that he sees the sword, so then he starts resecuring his extra spear back to his horse. So
You do notice that Graf does not have a horse. He was following you on foot yesterday. Yes.
Are any of us
So,
small enough to share with him?
I
yeah.
I think Dex might be small enough. think of the breeds, he's the smaller of us, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, volunteering me. That's fine.
Theory. um.
Do-
Uh.
Does it look like my mount would support my weight and Graf's body weight?
Oh, absolutely. So, with that fantastic bluff, you three were able to secure some of the best mounts available. They are hardy, they are stocky, they are sure-footed, and they are uh, not necessarily as big as draft horses, but they're definitely big enough to um, carry at least two of you at any given point, even the two heaviest of you.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Not necessarily for extended periods of time. We're talking like weeks at a time, but
Okay.
um, yeah, there would be no issue with any of those horses carrying two of you and all your equipment.
Okay. As we finish getting ourselves, I will look over at Graf and says, "Why don't you ride with me? My two friends here have bows that would be better used freely of an extra passenger, and you can ride with me."
Mhm. So go ahead and let's do a group survival check. Just roll your d20 if you've got anything that'll aid in survival. Go ahead and throw that in. And if more than 50% of you succeed, the group succeeds.
Okay. Well, I have the survive skill. I rolled a 15 plus 4 is 19 for me.
Perfect.
So if I don't have it, would it just be wisdom?
I believe so.
It is. It's a wisdom save or skill.
Oh, it's a big 6.
I got a big 9.
Graf surprisingly rolled a natural 20.
Yes. Good
Yeah.
boy.
So over the course of the next 3 to 4 days of your travel, you have a couple of close encounters with those predators that you saw your first night on the road, but nothing that you couldn't easily handle. And on that final day, as you've gotten up before the crack of dawn, as you were only an hour or so out from Ellendonk, as the sun is starting to rise and the mist is starting to clear from the edge of the forest, you arrive at Ellendonk. This is a village that is near the iron mines where the mine workers and their support network has stayed for the families. You see some outlying farms. You see smoke and the smell from a blacksmith, um, as well as an inn, and then you assume that there's a general store and a few other things there. Um, what would you like to do?
I think the first thing we should do is just go ahead and ride into town and get ourselves a place at the tavern.
And then we should probably discuss like what's the best way we can go about this mission because we need to make sure it looks like we at least tried to do our job.
Right.
And also that we don't get poor Graf in trouble.
Yeah. Um, and so go ahead and roll me wisdom or notice checks. Was that another natural one?
No, it was a 2, so I got a total of 3.
Oh, good.
Perfect.
I got a dirty 20.
Nice.
12 total.
12. Okay, so even with that 12, while Spike is wrangling with having a second rider who may or may not be very good at this and keeps falling off and is super distracted, he doesn't notice that even though there is smoke coming from what appears to be the blacksmith in town, um, the outlying farms and fields that you see to each side of you have not been planted for a couple of years. Um, they are overgrown and they are fallow fields um, that you see as you walk into town. And even though you expected a bustling inn, um, and based on the number of buildings here, as you get closer, you recognize that they're starting to come apart, that they're not being cared for as far as you can see.
My dear Graf, do you know why this town is in such disrepair?
Um, have we finally made it to Ellendonk?
Yes,
Oh,
as far as the map says.
um, people were evicted or enslaved from here.
Oh, so they've taken their workforce,
Yeah,
basically.
yep.
Mm.
Um, I'm sure there's still stuff at the general store and at the inn if we need supplies or a roof. Those were very sturdy buildings. If I remember from being a pup.
So you say evicted, so all the good dogs that lived here were pretty much ran off by your family, and now I'm seeing the picture where they brought in all these kidnapped cats to work the mines.
In a nutshell, I'm not proud of my family. That's why I'm here.
Are you trying to tell me the cats were kidnapped in the shell of a nut? That is ingenious and confusing.
You know, the relics of the old ones that can be very strange. Um,
Agreed.
uh, well, looks like we'll have, at least I would like to, I have a little more work to do than just freeing the cats, I think. This town definitely needs some help.
Yeah, it has to get dogs to live back here now since it looks like everybody was ran out.
Do you want to investigate any of the buildings? What are you looking for?
Um,
I go with my original suggestion that we find ourselves a base of. If we're going to have to be exploring the mines and figure out what's going on here, we need at least a good, sturdy place to stay. So either the tavern itself that we know of, or even the general store. So pick one of those two buildings as a place to at least set our stuff down at and build a base of operation from.
yeah, we can settle up at the inn and then like take a look around.
Yeah, the
If that sounds
blacksmith having smoke has got me curious for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we
Right.
could settle up and then take a look.
Or if we pass a blacksmith on the way to the inn, we can stop and look at it.
Yeah.
And at this point here, I have loosened my strap on my sword, and my spear is more readily available to me in my hands.
Okay. Okay. So, as you come into town, the blacksmith is, of course, on the edge of town, and you still see the little bit of rising smoke. Do you want to try and sneak around the building? Do you want to try and just walk up and knock on the door? What are we doing?
For the blacksmith, if it's the blacksmith, like, are they open? Are they selling stuff? Can we just knock on the door?
Before we did that, I was wondering what Graf is wearing. Is he like advertising Doberman family, most hated people in this area, or is he just wearing kind of plain clothes?
So, how do you explain this with tact? So he is in as muted colors as you can imagine. So dark blues, dark browns. He has a vest on with a jacket, pants, and as plain as he tried to make himself, he still stands out versus you guys as hardy adventurers as having very fine weave to his clothes. So he does not have the Doberman crest on anything as far as you can tell, minus the bag of coin that he dropped in front of you. But everything that he has on him is such a high quality that he stands out in any field or in any basic setting.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah, even though it's plain, it's very, very nice. And it's a sharp contrast to how clean he is versus some of the equipment that you guys are carrying around that has that road wear and that dirt to it, where the leather is scuffed and the sword handles and have that, I don't know, smoother feel to them from wear, even though they are very well maintained. Same thing for like the bows and what have you. Yeah.
I know what went through my mind. I was just curious if Spike would have thought about it. Oh, mud hole. Poof.
Oh.
I mean, he is a little worse for wear for trying to travel through a bramble bush yesterday.
Yeah, he did already
but-
fall down and roll
Yeah.
around in brambles. I
Yeah.
think he might be okay.
So,
I do have a trick, odds and ends, that I have a penchant for packing just the right thing and have advantage in making a wisdom check to see if I have a particular piece of equipment.
Sure. What would you like to have?
Oh, just now we can call it mundane, although it does have historical value. I don't know what the letters mean, but I have a hoodie in my rucksack from the ancient old ones that says Harvard on it, and just some casual outerwear to offer Mr. Graff.
And as you offer these clothes for him to blend in a little bit, he kind of gives you a look of, why would I ever put that on? And as you mentioned that it is a relic of the ancients, even though the felt from the lettering is starting to come off in places and the stitching is unwinding at the edges, if you insist, he will trade out his cloak and heavy jacket for the sweatshirt.
Excellent.
Althea will be like 100% honest. Like, you look like you're too well off, and people might suspect that you are from the Doberman family, and it might make them nervous.
Especially with such striking features.
Mhm.
Yeah. I guess at least this way you can pass me off as like a third or fourth cousin, huh?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
So after we get Graft into this new outfit, the blacksmith, does it look like there's activity going on? Do we hear the pounding of metal as if weapons are being forged, or do we just see smoke and no sound?
Just a little bit of smoke. There's no sound. As you again, are you guys sneaking, or are you guys just walking up to the blacksmithery before I describe it here?
Well,
I'd just walk up,
Yeah.
preferably.
Spike,
Okay.
if he's hearing no sound, he'll have spear in one hand and just walk to the door and just kind of open the door and
Yeah.
have his spear at hand ready to go.
So as you guys are walking up to this blacksmith, it's as in much as disrepair as everywhere else. It is not the forge that is lit. The forge is cold. The anvil is rusted. No metal has been worked here for at least a year, if not longer. You see part of the roof is collapsed in on one side of the building. And as you walk up to the front door, it can't be locked because the door swings freely back and forth in the slight wind.
Okay.
I'll just kind of knock on it a little bit, peek in a little. Hello?
And you receive no answer.
When?
Do you want to go first, or you want me to?
I don't mind going first.
I allow Althea to go, and I'm right behind her, staying close to protect her flank.
Okay. So as you enter the home attached to the blacksmithery, you see bits and pieces of the family and livelihood that used to use this building for its needs. And you see this small, barely flickering fire. It's almost embers at this point in what used to be a hearth, with threadbare furniture that's mostly moth-eaten and awkwardly damp. And just from being exposed to like the elements with the roof that's fallen in. And as you see like plants and grass and weeds and flowers coming in from the edges where um, nature has started to overtake this building. But you don't see any living creatures.
Okay.
As you work your way from one end of the building to the other, having it be an abandoned town, go ahead and roll me a wisdom check. Let's try this one more time.
Okay. I actually got a 19 that time.
Well,
12. Okay, so both of those over 10 here. This whole building, drifters from the woods will use, as this is probably one of the best kept structures across the town, which I'm sure you'll find as you investigate. But looks like someone came in, camped here for the night, left their embers, and didn't immediately douse everything, since most of the building is stone and what's left of it. So,
Okay.
and with your, did you say 19?
That is correct.
In your search of the building, you do find what looks like a small book or journal from the building, as well as, you know, odds and ends from people camping here throughout the last couple of years. Nothing to set you to alarm, but in this building at least there wasn't any recent bloodshed, no fighting, no nothing here, just passersby.
Okay. I look it over. I don't have understanding of the written word, so I hand the book over to Althea. She appears to be a little bit more knowledgeable on the language.
yeah, I'll read some stuff.
And see if I found this over here while searching through the remnants of what was left here. So I can't
thank
read
you.
this, so maybe you can.
I'll flip it on open, see what's in there.
I suggest we go ahead and get back out to Dex and not leave Dex and Graft alone too long outside.
Oh, one moment. I doused the fire for safety, and then, yeah, I'll go outside.
No problem. So yeah, you head back out into the sun as it's starting to peak above the edge of town and illuminate the rest of the abandoned buildings that you see. And now that you're in town with that sun shining, you do see the dilapidated nature of this town and how empty it feels. It's very reminiscent of the old ghost towns from stories you heard as pups.
Okay.
As you guys are handed a journal, again, it's a little blurry, so if I need to read it, I do not mind doing so, because my picture taking skills are lacking today. There is a excerpt that reaches out to you as whoever is flipping through the book flips through it, and you'll have that open in Roll20 as well.
There she goes.
So, as I said, if it's too blurry to read, I don't mind reading it. So.
Oh, no, I got it. Okay. All right. All should know what happened here. This village was prosperous and happy, but the greed of Heinrich Doberman and his desire for more money has led him to do things that no good dog would consider. We have been ordered to leave our homes and threatened against returning to Pugmire. I must have faith that man has a plan for us, and that Heinrich Doberman will be punished for his greed. Even this note is an act of defiance that could see us harmed. If you find this, and if you are good dogs, please make sure that Pugmire knows what happened here. Please make sure our suffering has a good reason. Man, guide us and protect us. Amen.
So, yeah. And as you come back out, let's see. Dex, go ahead and make me a notice check while you're dealing with Graph.
Oh, sure. That is a 17 total.
Very nice. So as they went inside the front door, you're going to hear rustling kind of out the back of that building. And that moves deeper into town while you're standing outside while the two are inside.
I'm just going to note that for now. Because I don't want them to... Yeah, I think I'm just going to
Take a
let
note of
them
it.
know. And maybe we can follow tracks after, but for now we'll just wait for the party to come back. As tempting as it is to split it.
I know. Oof. Trying hard.
Well, you could be the split the party and be the first death there. So
Yeah, you go for it.
I would love that honor. I may yet earn it. The scenario is far from over.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess we'll get out of the building and Althea will look pretty, just kind of upset, not like mad or anything, just like, oh, this is very sad. And tell the younger Doberman, show him the note.
Just out of
And
curiosity,
let him read it.
did you read that out loud when you were doing it?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure that Spike heard you reading it.
Yeah.
We'll call this common knowledge.
Okay.
Excellent.
And she'll basically just be like, this could be very difficult, but and I don't want to put any pressure on you as to an answer, because this is involving your family and I don't want you to be without them if that is not what you want. But I do think with your help we might be able to have enough evidence to tell the king about what's going on here and perhaps get your father punished.
He doesn't deserve the power he's been given. I'm not ready for the power he's been given. But if there is enough to put these minds in the hands of someone who will run them properly, it is a consequence that he's created for himself.
That sounds like a good way to go about this. I mean, I don't want this to continue. At the same time, I don't want to create a big enemy of the Doberman family. But if we can get this back into the hands of Pugmire, so that the other families of Pugmires can run it like Graf said,
Yes.
then we should be able to do that and try to do it so that we don't become enemies more so than what we already are going to be of the Doberman family.
Or if we are, at least that perhaps the crown will protect us a little.
Well, you'll have my gratitude.
Well, your gratitude and your help might be required in order to help protect us, in order to remove this power, some of this power from your father's hands.
And he kind of realizes how confident he sounded for a minute there, and kind of shrinks back into himself, playing with the cuff of the sweater that's starting to unravel just a little bit, as they do, since someone had cut a hole in it, presumably to put their thumb through.
Oh yeah.
Seeing him fidget like that there, Spike walks up behind him and a good solid hand to the back of, keep up the good work, pup. You're growing up to be a good dog.
He misses all of that, because as you go to hit the and he kind of loses some of his breath as he moves forward comically. What is next on the agenda for you guys?
Dexel mentioned that it sounded like somebody may have left the back of the blacksmith while they were exploring it, and suggests like maybe we follow these tracks, maybe we let whoever it is be. Surely these people have had enough suffering. I do not want to harass them, but it is something we could pursue, or we could just go and make ourselves what Spike has called a home base.
I would like to at least know who it is, just to make sure it's not anything nefarious, but if it is just townsfolk, I don't see any reason to bother them.
Dex, if you want to go with Althea to check this, I will keep Graf and our mounts here safely, since I'm more comfortable in the woods and the wilds than within the inner workings of a city. I can stay here. And plus, you two don't look as rough as I do, and may possibly less intimidating.
Alrighty.
Do you want to go ahead and did you want to helm a survival, or to track,
Yeah,
or
I can track.
Whoever would be better at that, you can do that together or individually.
What do you want to do, my dude?
I can notice I don't have any track survival skills, but
I can track stuff.
I could try and aid, give you advantage.
Yep, go for it.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll with advantage, since he brought it to your attention and noticed it.
Natural 20.
So,
All right.
Happy to help.
Thanks.
And in that triumph, you're easily able to quietly and quickly make your way around to a smaller building that looks like it's 1 or 2 rooms perhaps. But as you walk up, it's ornately decorated on the outside, but in the simplest of manners, with just how the wood is inlaid, and some glass that you see reflects in color, as there's stained glass along the sides of the building as it comes up into a steeple. And as you walk up to the front door that appears to be unlocked and well oiled, unlike some of the rest of the town, we will go ahead and take a break.
okay.
If that's okay.
That sounds good.
Awesome.
So we're going to take a quick bio break here for everybody. Get some more water, get some snacks, make sure that we stretch and hydrate. Same thing for you there at home. Please stretch and hydrate, and we'll be back here in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds great.
Sounds good.
Thank you all for joining us tonight. I appreciate you being here. So we'll switch over whenever. Welcome back, folks. We're here tracking with our canine canine adventurers in Pugmire. So as these 3 good boys and girls come back, they were reaching out to a small church of man, which appears mostly intact. Parts of the roof have rotted out, and one wall is particularly collapsed. But the front door is ajar, showing a shadowy interior. You see pews and a raised platform at the front of the room are undisturbed. What would you like to do?
Dust
Uh,
off my paws.
Yeah.
So, are you going to go ahead and go inside? Yeah. So as you push open this door, I'm assuming a little slower than you normally would. You see an individual. You see ears and black fur with a white stripe going down the back and to a point. As you see, they appear to be kneeling in one of the pews, with their paws sitting in front of them. You would recognize this as a badger in prayer.
Badger.
Yep.
Are they not enemies of the dogs?
I don't believe that badgers are inherently enemies of the canine population.
Okay, I must have misread that.
Snakes,
Or
maybe.
or I didn't read it, which is a possibility, but I can't remember what the inherent relationship is between badgers and dogs.
Either way, you say they're not an enemy so far, then I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Uh, Althea will go ahead and walk in and kneel down next to the badger. You know, companionably. And see if he does anything weird.
So once the badger notices you, which takes it longer than you imagine that it would, he starts and then he starts to stand up and move away from the group. So for every step you take forward, he'll take one or two more backwards.
We mean you no harm. You can
You-
continue to pray.
You haven't been sent here by Heinrich? And he slowly continues moving backwards away from you, even though he's engaged in conversation.
Well, to be truthful, we were at first. But now that the actual situation has come to our attention, we are hoping to help the residents and former residents of this place.
And with that, he stops moving backwards, but doesn't move towards you. You're here to help?
In any way we can.
Oh. Is it just you? And you see him kind of peek out the windows and kind of around.
I have 3 companions.
Oh. Okay. And what are you hoping to do?
Well, I would suppose the first step would be to free people in the mines. Then probably go back to Pugmire, inform the king what's been happening, and then hopefully gain age to rebuild this place.
And as you keep talking, like, he perks up, his ears pull forward, and he starts to lean towards you almost in disbelief. You know what's happening here and you want to help?
We know a little of what has happened here, and that little is enough to feel outrage at the injustice.
he almost doesn't believe you guys and kind of retracts back into himself and looks like he's about ready to bolt again. What would you like to do?
Try to calm him down, I guess. It's like, I understand your trepidation. It seems that the things have gone on this way for far too long here, and I'm so sorry no one else has spoke to you.
Gotcha. This seems too good to be true. How were you hoping to get to the mines?
We
Well,
have horses.
yes. And hopefully, maybe you or someone else that is still here could provide us some direction.
Oh, and what are your names?
I'm Althea. I'll let my other companions introduce themselves.
And was it just the two of us who were here, or
Yeah, Spike and Graf are back with the horses.
making sure I was on
Oh
the
yeah,
same
just
page
you
there?
then. Yeah, sorry. Ugh.
No, it's all good. And then Dexter will, and he's not super warm because most badgers aren't inherently kind
Gotcha.
to dogs, but since this one seems to be afraid of us and not antagonistic to us, he will be pleasant. And he says, "I am Dexter Basenji, merchant and friend to those who need friends. It seems like you may yet be one of those."
Levi. Are your other companions as open and helpful as you two?
Yes.
Okay.
You have a mighty name, Levi, after the great Strauss himself, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps. It's not helped me in the past, but it helps those. I help where I can. And he kind of forgets himself for a second, still distrustful. Why don't you bring your companions here, and we can talk and I can maybe share what I know.
Yes, that sounds lovely. One moment. Yeah, she'll trundle on outside and try to flag the boys down.
Use a dog whistle.
And with a sixth sense motive, I fully believe everything Levi has said.
Perfect. So do you go ahead and join them, Spike?
Yes. Yeah. When I hear Althea call for us or wave us down, I will grab the reins of two of the horses and let Graf grab one, and we'll walk together and head that direction.
And once you get there, you see Levi outside, who you have not met yet, but is standing with Althea and Dex. And he accepts you, Spike, when you come around the corner, but he starts again when he sees Graf, that Doberman face, and he starts to move away suspiciously again. Suspicious of your intentions.
Seems dangerous, but he is an ally. He does not support the Doberman family and their actions.
And he takes you at your word, but he definitely gives Graf more looks than Graf is comfortable with. As you see Graf kind of attempt to appear just a little bit smaller, but you're able to bed the horses in what's left of the stables, that's not too far from the church, so that they don't disappear on you. and yeah, give them grain and feed and rest while you work with Levi here. And once those mundane tasks are out of the way, tea has been made and poured into cups, cocoa or coffee, whatever your desires are, or whiskey, as the day may be. You, brandy, yep, straight into that hot cocoa. No.
Oh yeah. Oh.
And Levi is settled down a little bit as you guys all sit around the particularly bright spot in the church. So, and he kind of looks at the four of you. What do you need to know to help, and what are you trying to get all of them?
Well, preferably. We don't really know much about what kind of guard there might be there.
Oh, it's less of a guard and more of a demon.
Oh,
Yeah,
Do
there's
you
a
mean
demon.
this metaphorically or literally?
Literally, there's a demon hound that guards most of the
I
mines.
see.
oh.
Spike's ears perk up at that there, and it's like,
We avoid them by understanding the burrow and how to get away, dig quickly. But yes, there is a demon hound. I would have assumed you would know what you were walking into.
I look over at Graft. What do you know about this demon hound?
Oh, nothing. I just assumed there were more guards here. I didn't realize that we had other reinforcements.
And of course, by we, he means the situational we, not that he would have anything to do
Yes,
with
of
it.
course. This has been kind of an emergency mission. Like I said, we did not originally come here intending to do this specific work. So, unfortunately, we don't have quite as much knowledge as we'd like. But on the bright side, at least we don't have to kill any good dogs.
Well, that is always a bright side. And not to interrupt us, but thank you for the raid, Chromatic Chimera. Thank you for joining us. If you do get the chance, please go follow their channel. They just were playing Mysteries in the Mojave, or Mysteries of the Mojave. And it's a brand new show that they just started this week. So please go check out their channel. It is spooky. That particular Mysteries in the Mojave is spooky and delightful. So go look at their stuff. Go follow them. They're amazing friends of ours. And we appreciate their aid. You guys are awesome. Okay. And yay. Okay. So while you're speaking with Levi, he gives you a verbal layout of the Badger Burrow that can be accessed through a trap door in the old storehouse in town. So let's see if I can do this.
Are the badgers like, will we fit in there?
Yeah. So
Okay.
this badger, especially as sentient as he is is a large badger.
Chunky
Also,
boy, if you will.
anthropomorphic in the same way you all are, and sturdy individual, absolutely. So yes, and he warns you about a bit of a tunnel trap, but is vague on the details. And just to be careful where you walk, and about the central chambers and then the giant ants that also reside in these tunnels, and how to get to where you want to go. So he gives you a little bit of information, so you won't be surprised if you run into anything, but it's not so detailed that you could potentially avoid it altogether.
Okay. Well,
And so as you're cresting probably about noon here, what would you guys like to do?
Let's go in a tunnel.
I think now is as good as time as any to go check out this trap door that our friend Levi here has told us about.
Dex will finish his rooibos and gather his belongings.
Oh, go ahead.
Graft, are you coming with us, or are you going to stay up here in the safety of the church?
I will stay here. If you find anybody, I will lead them out.
All right.
Bring them to safety.
Also, Althea will give Graf the note that they found, the journal, and if for some reason we do not return, the rest of the job is going to be up to you.
And he gingerly takes that journal from you. I'll do what I can.
No, you will do more than that, Graf, for as the great sage Yoda has said, do or do not, there is no try. As recorded in the books of Lucas himself.
Yeah.
And he'll clap a hand on his shoulder and just walk away.
I love it.
Me too.
And Levi kind of gives him a side eye. You're leaving the Doberman here? Is that safe?
He's trustworthy. I promise.
Okay, if you say so. And he doesn't look like he believes you, and is just going to keep an eye on Graf while they're above ground. Okay. So, you're led to a storehouse with a hidden trap door, and you go ahead and go into that trap door. Is that what you're doing?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So the initial room is a short drop down from the trapdoor and is lined with wooden shelves. Torn, burned, and rotted folders are scattered on the shelves. There is a tunnel leading down and away from the room to the south. What would you like to do?
Who wants to go down the tunnel first?
Check for traps. Check.
Yeah.
Okay. Dex starts checking for traps as Spike gets ready just to jump. You can hear Dex, let me check for something first.
He said something about a pit trap, and sounds terrible. How about a natural 20?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, do any of you have dark vision?
I don't think so.
Nope.
I have a hooded lantern in my rucksack.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Good.
I got torches.
Yeah, same. I got torches too. So.
Very nice. So between the lantern and the torches and this first initial room that's got a little bit of sunlight coming down into it, especially with a triumphant natural 20, you're able to see just this initial room, and you're able to see the tunnel beyond. You see that there is a small trigger for something right at the mouth of that tunnel that if you walked into it would trigger what you're presuming to be a trap. It leads you to believe that there could be more tripwires later in this warren.
May I attempt to disable whatever I
Yeah.
just found.
Yeah, you can go down into the room and along the front,
Yeah.
the entrance into this tunnel, and try and disable the small switch you found.
Awesome. With my trap sense trick, I get to double my proficiency bonus to bypass
Awesome.
locks, traps, etc., which will give me a +9 to this single-digit number I feel like I'm about to roll.
And I sit there. Basically, I've got the torch held up high so that while he's got his hands being used, I'm using the torch behind him, and then I've got my spear in hand ready.
Awesome.
I got my crossbow out.
Thank you for the light spike. That's a natural 19 for a total of a 28.
Awesome.
Boy, howdy.
Boys.
Alrighty. So you very easily and deftly stop this spiked gate from crashing down from the ceiling over the front of this entrance. And you're able to see where further down there would be 2 tripwires that would normally stop up your path. That with that 28, you're able to keep from shooting arrows through the walls on each side. And you see the further down where there's a bit of a spike off, you can either go to the right or the left, or the right and the left, depending on which perspective you're from here.
Which number are we in? Do we know on the map, like heading which
Yeah,
direction?
so that first one, that first one is the storeroom. The second one there is the tunnel that you just got rid of the traps in. And then you can look to your, I guess, the left there. Looks like it opens up into a relatively large chamber that you can see with your lantern. It's just an earthen chamber. And then to the right, you see another open chamber that looks like it has a table of some sort in it.
Were we given a recommendation from Levi as to which direction we should take?
Were you given an option from Levi? I believe so. Okay. He said you wanted to avoid the temple, which, if you remember correctly, was to the right.
So left it is.
Okay. To the left, and if you don't mind, I will take the lead for us, and torch high held over, spear in the other hand.
By all means.
Yes. To the left. To the left.
Everything we own in a box to the left?
Ah, you two are familiar with this song. I believe it was sung on birthdays.
Yes.
So as you go to the left here, you come into a room that looks like it's been abandoned. It's a moderately sized earthen cavern with no visible exits. There are 2 bedrolls here that have not been used in weeks, and the remains of a cooking stove. This is the room that he would have given you instruction to look closely at the walls, as there is a rock that can be rolled away from the door.
Okay. I look at Dex and Althea. Do y'all remember what to look for in the rock formation?
Feel like
Rock
that's
the rock.
more of Dex's wheelhouse.
Now, as far as the rocks are concerned, I will investigate on notice.
You can also use advantage if you'd like, since you have prior knowledge that you've got room, a rock to move in that room, and you've got a description.
Awesome.
Did you roll a natural one? Is that what that was?
No, that was a disbelief that roll 20 is being so friendly to me.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
there's
goodness.
proof that I'm not fudging another natural 20.
Well,
something awful will happen to me by the end of this game to balance out these rolls.
Someone is gonna die, and it's gonna be you.
yeah. Well, you're just offsetting all my low 1s and 2s that I've been rolling today. So keep it up.
Alrighty, so as you roll that rock aside, you move to let's see. So as you move to the side there and you get that rock to the side and a light shining down, you see the curving tunnel leads to a small storeroom with a single well-defined tunnel leading off to the east. The sides of the room are stocked with small crates of non-perishable foods, jerky, nuts, dried berries, all packed for travel. There's a few bedrolls and several sets of dark-colored travel clothes. The eastern tunnel extends for roughly 20 feet before ending in an elaborate door, firmly set into the wall and covered with looping designs. The door has no handle and no keyhole.
Ew.
As we pass where the jerky and stuff is, Spike will take like a small paw full and shove it into his pouch and start chewing on a piece as he's walking.
Brilliant. I'll do the same.
And after that rollaway door, there were no further instructions from Levi that you remember.
Yeah. So
he said just to keep continuing forward and you'll find your way out.
All right, let's do that then.
we'll go to the door since that's the only obvious exit from this room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go roll to open door.
This
And
is the
here's
door with no handles and no keyhole.
Uh-huh.
While they're looking at the door real fast, I run back to where that supply of stuff was and start looking to see if there might be like a crowbar or a shovel or something like that.
What attribute is opening a door? Strength, maybe? Dex? I don't know. There's no handle.
Okay. So as you struggle with this door, you realize that this door is firmly set into the rock behind it and has no opening mechanism that you can see. There's no hinges, there's no keyholes, there's no handles. And even in your travels, I would say that with relative certainty, you can say there's no magic. It is a door inlaid into the rock.
I kind of at it because I'm mad. Can I try to like slide it up or down or side to side?
You certainly can. Slide for strength check, I guess, in this one.
12.
Door doesn't budge. It is a door attached to a rock wall, as far as you can tell.
Gentlemen, I do not know how to open this door.
You're reminded that to get into this room, you had to slide a rock wall over that looked, that was a secret door. That if you didn't know was there, wouldn't have been probably difficult to find.
I suppose we could look for another door then.
Yes, perhaps we should study this room and see what we can find.
Okay. Spike will follow the rest of them back out to the main room. Just if that's what it is, we're going back to the room with all the barrels and stuff.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, no, I was assuming we'd stay in this one and try to find another door.
Oh, okay.
So
think we're
this
talking
is
about
the
the
store.
same
Yeah,
thing.
so this is the storage room. So this would be room 8. You've got that little tunnel that comes off to the side where you see this door that you've decided is embedded into rock. And then you can come back out of that tunnel back to the room, or you can
Oh,
try to
yeah,
find something
yeah.
in the tiny offshoot tunnel.
In room 8.
Yeah.
Let us look in the room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only an 11 on that notice.
Notice. Okay, wisdom or notice check for anyone who's looking.
I've got a wisdom roll of 15. At watching how he has been looking for things, Spike start trying to look and just kind of pull on various little things that we've seen Dex do it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I try to search, but I only got 11.
So, as you're searching, you become more and more frustrated as you can't actually find anything. And you eventually, one of you trips over a toolbox. And you, in tripping over that toolbox and getting a little embarrassed, falling on your backside, with a little yip, you do hear a slight hissing noise as the wall opens just a little bit on the north side of the room.
Oh, well, there we go.
So, and if on a closer inspection you find that there was a switch hidden behind that toolbox, that when you tripped over it, you managed to flip the switch.
I will flip the switch the rest of the way.
Yep.
Okay.
And that door opens up.
Well, torch in hand, spear in hand, I will start down the corridor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, a well-defined upward sloping tunnel leads out of the Warrens and to the north away from Ellendock. The exit for the tunnel is expertly hidden in a small copse of trees half a mile to the north. Yeah. So, what would you like to do as you come back out into the sunshine?
Is this the way to the mines? Do we have to go back in and go the other way, or?
If we're here to help cats, all we've done is find a tunnel out of the town.
Which can be helpful.
Mm-hmm. But we probably have to go back the other way if we want to try to get to the mines, because the Levi said his burrows led to the mines, if I remember correctly.
I thought so, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we probably have to go back the other way and try to figure out which tunnel to follow.
Go ahead and, as a group again, roll me a wisdom or notice check. Let's see what we can tell you about this group.
I got a 3 again.
I got a 9.
Total of a 22 on that notice check.
Thank you, Dex.
Thank you.
So, as distracted as Dex was in that tunnel, when sunshine filtered down through these woods, he comes back to himself and realizes that this, as he looks into the nooks and crannies of the copse of these trees, this looks like it's a base of operations. There's footprints in the dirt. There's well-used tents and non-perishable foods that are stored safely in this copse. And right at this moment, there's no one home. It has been recently used, and looks like it might be a escape route for some of the slaves based on the medical supplies and what have you that you see here.
Okay.
So, one way in which the slaves are escaping.
Well, we know that at least when the cats and other prisoners get out, they are being well taken care of, whoever's here.
Suppose we should go back in and try the other direction.
Yep. Spike charges back in.
Yep.
Okay. So as you head back through, you're going towards what looks like the temple.
Yep, I can come back down, go through that room that had all the provisions in it with a false corridor off of it, come back into the room with the used beds and stuff, and then go view south.
Perhaps we should approach the temple with caution.
That is a lovely idea.
Okay. So are we checking for traps or are we sneaking? Or both? Or
I like
none?
the sound of both.
I mean, if you're offering benevolent GM, both it is.
Alrighty, so let's sneak as a group. And then we will check for traps.
Okay, so a dexterity check, I guess.
Yes, please.
I got 19.
19 is good.
I got a 5.
Got a natural 19 for a 25.
Nice. So your two compatriots managed to carry you literally through this tunnel in such a quiet manner that not even a mouse would have heard you. And then I'm assuming we're going to rely on Dex for a little bit more trap finding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will be his light source so that he can use both of his hands.
All right then. I suppose I will roll a notice. And let's see if that goes as well. Natural 17 for a 21.
So as you walk into this room with a little bit of light behind you, you're able to notice an outline in the dust and dirt as you would have walked up to the table and or altar that's in the middle of this, what looks like a temple sort of room. That is a trap door that, if triggered, would probably open up into a pit of some sort.
Oh dear.
Watch your step.
False floor.
Skirt around that.
Yeah. Once he points it out, it's very easy to walk around.
Okay, so yeah, we walk around the trap and stuff there, I guess, and into the room.
Yeah.
Trying to figure a way. Is there any like brighter color rocks or anything in here?
Not particularly. It's just let's call this some boring limestone. So you could find a red clay rock or something of that nature.
I just try to break off 4 rocks about the size of an egg, and try to figure out where the trap is at, and put it on the 4 corners to mark the outline of it. So if we have to do an emergency run out, we know where the trap is. And be able to...
That is a
clever.
good idea.
That is clever. And you can certainly do that. Especially with Dex's help.
Yeah, because I mean, he found the trap, so he should be able to at least point out where the outline
One
of it
should
is.
hope.
Yeah. If not, Spike goes for a little tumble.
Oh no!
Okay. So let's see. So as you go through this room here, you realize that there's 2 exits to it. One that looks like it goes back into a bedroom chamber that Levi said that they hold escapees there, and that they currently don't have any escapees with them. You're assuming the last set of escapees are the ones that you've been sent to find, but they've already been safely ferried to another town. And then a staircase. Let's see. And then the staircase, the bottom appears to be walled off. While the stone staircase is at least 100 years old, the stonework at the bottom looks very recent, and will lead you into a storage facility. And the steps down to this room are ancient and crumbling. The stairs end abruptly into a newly laid, very solid-looking wall. What would you like to do?
Traps?
Yeah, let's make sure this stairway and everything and entryway isn't trapped like apparently the rest of this place. Uh-oh, there's the 10 on the die for a 14 notice.
You are fairly certain that there are no traps down this hallway.
With a relief, at last we find a room without traps.
Maybe they are no longer paranoid about escapees in this direction.
Okay.
So, and
So
you
what
said,
would you like to do with the wall?
Spike will set his spear to the side, hold his torch back, and he would put both of his paws on it and really get his paws set in the ground and just kind of heave hove and see if he can just push it over.
Gotcha.
I will, if possible, assist for some advantage.
I will hold a torch for light.
Perfect.
Everybody's
We've
got a
been
roll.
getting more and more Spanish as this game has gone on.
I'm not upset about it.
It wasn't what I was going for, but I recently rewatched Princess Bride, so
Oh, well,
I blame Mandy Patinkin.
Yeah, it's just gonna get you. Yeah.
Absolutely. Alrighty, so you've come up to the wall, you've got light around, and what are you trying to do? I apologize.
I'm just going to try to push it over first and see if I can just push it, make it fall back into the room that it's laying in. Because
Go for it for a strength check.
now, Alteria says she was trying to assist if it's possible for both of us to do this, and I would
Yeah.
give.
You can roll with
Advantage.
advantage. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right, 19 plus 6, so that's 25.
Not
Awesome.
bad.
Awesome.
Yeah, so you're able to knock over this this wall. You see a long, narrow room with two open, rotting doors at each side, along with another stairway. Leading further down. The walls are heavily scarred and pocked like acid was thrown everywhere. The park marks get larger as you approach the second set of stairs, and some are even wide enough for a small dog to squeeze their head into. What would you like to do?
Traps?
I start seeing all these potholes, and
Yeah, I
it
don't
looks
trust
like
this.
I start as I'm walking past. I get fearful of like worms that have dug through this and so forth. So I'm sitting here holding my torch, going from one wall to the other side as I'm walking to see if anything tried to come out of the holes. And my spear is like so tight in my hand, you can see the paws, the fur standing up on his paw as he's sitting there gripping his spear so tight.
Absolutely.
Well, the law of averages has spoken,
I don't like that
and
statement.
that's a botch, friends.
Oh no!
But, ooh. So you are unreasonably confident that there are no traps in this storeroom, and there's nothing to trap in the room beyond.
Well, let's go, everybody.
Yeah.
He's been right so far.
Exactly. How rough can it be?
I know.
Rough.
Arf.
Well,
Alright, so-
since Spike seemed to have been leading the charge so far, he will continue after Dex said it's safe to go on.
And you will be missed.
hmm It's okay. I'll try to catch you if something tries to murder you.
So as you move forward, you see an open cavern. So the near portion of this room is like the one at the top of the stairs, long and narrow, but the walls quickly give way to a large natural cavern that is partially collapsed. The pockmarked walls continue here, but the holes are even larger. There's an altar in the middle of the room with something that looks like a book on it. And so go ahead and place your characters where you would be on the side of the walls that you're on there.
Oh, here we go.
Okay. So we're about in that region that our tokens are at.
Yeah, you're off on that side of the map. So wherever you would have been in relation to each other with the cragginess around.
Okay. I think that was Spike that I moved. Yeah.
They should be labeled. You should be able to
Yeah.
see their names here.
I just had to zoom in better for it.
Yeah, this map is big. So all the maps that I have, I got from Che and Peku on Patreon, as well as Dr. Mapzo. Hands down, I recommend if you ever need maps for tabletop RPGs in any way, shape, or form, go sign up for their Patreon and get their stuff. It's amazing. It's worth every penny that they put into it, and all of their maps are amazing. So,
Awesome.
yeah, little
Okay.
plug there of where I get my maps. And then, of
Yeah.
course, all the music is from Incompetech, Kevin MacLeod. I think almost all the music tonight is from him, except for one of them that's from Tabletop Audio.
Okay.
So,
Sounds great.
yeah, it's stuff's fun. Okay. So, as you walk into this room, you have yourself a moment before the noise starts, and all of those pockmarks in those walls turn into very quickly have these giant ants that come out of the walls and go to attack you. So we're gonna go ahead and roll initiative. I know.
Okay, initiative fail me now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, how'd that go there, bud?
One.
A 15.
I'm back, baby, with another
Yeah.
natural 20.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
think we're at what, like 38 fortune now? My last count. Um,
Yeah. Well, so far, every time I rolled a 1, you have followed it with a 20. The one time I rolled a 19, you followed it with a 1.
Yes, I see.
Gotcha.
The 23 initiative.
Okay, so we've got a 23 for Dex. What was Spike?
2.
2. And what did Althea have?
15.
And then we've got, and then last but not least, is this music loud for anyone else, or is it just me?
I'm okay.
I
But I
turned
turned
mine
it down
down,
like a
though.
lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I turned mine down mostly in mine.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn mine down a little bit. All right. Let us know in chat if that music was loud. Sorry about that, folks. I'm sure our tech manager is better at this than I am, but just in case he's not, let us know. What was I doing? I was finding the
Initiatives?
information
Creatures?
I needed. Yes, creatures.
Creatures.
And
There
then,
it is.
and then, if I've got my calculations right, we've got a total of 5 fortune points right now. The 2 we started with, and the 3 20s that Dex have acquired over since his initial 20.
That's where I've been at.
Yes, I know how to count.
I'm so proud.
Okay. And then we've got. Alrighty. Alrighty. Okay, perfect. And then I have to roll one more time. And then it becomes popcorn style after this. So just remember when we do initiative, the first time we'll go down the list, and then whoever's at the end will can change the order as they'd like and choose whoever they would like to go next. So that includes enemies. So if you have a plan where you sandwich an enemy between two people, you can do that and force that enemy to go in the turn in between. Okay. So as you walk into this room and as you think you've gotten your bearings, it very quickly becomes a bit of a dire situation, and you see 4 giant ants come out of the walls initially, and they start to move towards you. So, giant ant warriors, they've got 40 feet worth of climb.
Oh boy.
10, 15, 20, 25. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And that one's able to move up next to you. And they are going to try and bite you. One will try and bite Spike. One will try and bite Dex. And that is a 13 against your defense, Spike.
That is a hit.
And a 12 plus 6 is 18 against your defense, Dex.
Oh, can I switch the attack roll with Spike? Yeah, that hits my 14.
Oh no. Okay, so with that bite, that is 5 points each of bite damage.
Oh, and Basenjis cannot bark, so Dex lets out a in pain.
Alrighty. And that is their turn, so that puts Dex at the top here.
Oh, Dex at the top.
With
Will
Althea quickly following.
rapier in hand, Dex will just strike out at this giant ant that just bit him, and hope to land a hit with a 13.
That'll hit.
Whew. And that is going to be my finesse weapon. Whoops, that was an equals sign. So that should be a 4 minimum damage.
Perfect.
And then, yeah, I guess don't have any like super neat things I could do right now, except for hopefully live. So
Perfect.
I think I'll just stay put.
Okay. So that's another thing that you can do as an action. Everyone has the ability to disengage during their turn if they ever want to run away without an attack of opportunity.
Could I, instead of an attack though, is that right?
Yeah, instead of an attack, you
Okay, that's
take
what I
up
was
your
thinking.
whole action to disengage unless you have something that turns it into a bonus action. So, but that is always an opportunity in this game that they have an offer. Is that your turn?
Yeah, that's my turn. I think so.
Perfect. Althea, you are up.
Okay, I am going to the one that was on Dex. If I can move a little bit and shoot it. I do not like it when people get hurt, so even though there's one closer to me, I'm worried for that sweet, sweet boy.
You sure can.
And I got, something. I'm like the slowest between tapping between like sheets ever. I got a 14 to hit.
14 will hit. 14 just hit.
Nice. Whoa! That would be 14 damage.
14 damage.
It's a big old crossbow. And I got a 10.
Nice.
Boy, howdy. So as you go to shoot off that crossbow, you hit that ant square in the shoulder, almost taking off an entire leg. to do that much damage. Is there anything else that you would like to do with your turn?
No.
Okay. Then that puts Spike up.
I will begin using my bonus action to go into a Dog Fury Rage.
Okay.
And then I will use my spear, since I have it in hand, to drive it into the one that has come up closest to me.
Perfect. Roll to drive a spear into a giant ant.
That is a 15 plus.
That'll hit.
Yeah. So that's, yeah. Okay, and that's a D8.
Perfect.
And that is 8 plus my strength is 8, 9, 10, 11, plus my proficiency bonus of 3 is 14 points of damage.
14 points of damage. Look at you hit these things and make me do math.
3.
There we go. I think that's right. Okay, so as you strike out, you get that chittery noise that, like, think of like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the animal mandible noise that it makes, which is gross and disgusting.
Horrible. Yeah.
Yeah. And so as that happens, Spike, you are at the end of this round. Who would you like to go next?
I will let Althea go again.
Okay.
Thanks. Right. I'll do another shot at the ant on Dex.
Okay.
Alrighty. 15 to hit.
15 hits.
Definitely won't roll as good as damage on this time, I'm sure. So not bad. 11.
11. So as you hit this ant with another bolt, they are not looking so hot. They are definitely starting to become damaged and fearful of those bolts.
Bark at it.
Barking is a free action, so
Yes.
you are all good. As is banter and yelling. What else would you like to do with your turn?
That'll be it.
Okay, then who would you like to go next?
Let us go with, let's do Dex.
Okay.
And get some revenge.
Gotcha.
Ish. I don't think I realized that I should have been adding my proficiency to my damage as well.
Gotcha.
Is that right? Did I miss that?
I believe so.
Oh, neat. So would have been 3 more water under the bridge. I'm sure I'll die this turn.
Not gonna die.
Well, hey, let's let it play out. Yeah, then Dex will strike again at this giant ant in front of him with a 22 to hit.
That'll hit.
Delicious. And then now I'll correctly add my damage for. Oh no, that's a 3. Shouldn't be a 138. Should be a 1d8. Keeping me honest. 13, almost max damage.
13 damage.
You would have known if I said 144 that something was wrong.
Maybe.
Maybe a little bit.
I mean, if there's a self-destruct button, there has to be like old Claymore grenades still left in this world.
Oh, yes!
But we don't want to do that because it would take everyone out.
Yeah, then.
Let's not say we didn't. Alrighty. So you go ahead and you strike this poor ant again with that same force, and this ant is reeling backwards from you guys now. Pew pew pew, and pew pew stab, I guess, is really what happened here, and it is looking hurt. Definitely not feeling well. Dex, who would you like to go next? You got your option of ants, Spike, or unknown.
Yeah, let's let Spike go before these 4 ants.
Gotcha. Perfect.
I will strike once again at that ant beside me.
Okay. Go for it.
And that is a 8.
That'll miss. So as you go to strike your spear into the side of this chitinous exoskeleton, it glances off and with an 8, missing that 12 defense.
Okay.
Anything else you would like to do with your turn?
Nope. Actually, I'm gonna step right there so I can try to maybe hopefully block the other ones from coming in anymore.
Gotcha. So technically that would be an attack of opportunity as a reaction,
That's okay.
but it's not going to take it
Okay.
at this particular moment because it is distracted. Is that the end of your turn?
That is the end of Spike's turn.
Okay, so as you are taking on these, as you were taking on these 4 giant ants, you've got an unknown that comes in.
Okay.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. That is going to come flying, and what you see is a hound with glowing eyes that is moving in such an expeditious speed that it cannot be normal. And you see the demon hound approach. And I'm going to need everyone to make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Okay. Now I've got a question for you.
Yes.
I have indomitable will. I get a 2 times proficiency bonus to any compulsion spells or magical effects, including things like command spell.
Yeah, so this would be a frighten ability. So yeah, go ahead. You can add your proficiency bonus double to this.
Okay. And you said wisdom?
Wisdom saving throw, please.
All right. So 6 plus 6 is 22. I got a total of 23.
23 makes it. You are good. Althea.
24.
You are good. Dex.
16.
You make it. None of you are scared of the
Yes!
demon.
I was this close to asking, should I use a fortune?
However, the ants are not so lucky.
Shit.
Oh,
The
buddies.
2 in the middle here that haven't been hit yet are now scared of the hound.
Aw, dang.
So you are also immune to that hound's bay effect for the next 24 hours. So you are all good. Alrighty. And then the ants. So the 2 that are closest. This one is going to move up to Althea as it sees how much damage she's doing to the other ant and take a swing at you. And then the one next to Dex is going to go ahead and try and attack you as well. So it's a 21 to hit your defense,
Yup.
and a 19 for the other.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
so you'll both take 5 points of bitey bite damage.
How many did you say? I'm sorry.
5, please.
But thank you.
Yep. And then they will continue to harry you. The other 2 are actually going to run away from the demon hound. One of them allowing for an attack of opportunity from Spike.
Alrighty.
3, 4, 5, 6. Did you want to take that attack of opportunity?
Sure.
Okay, go for it.
19 plus 6.
That'll hit.
Now where'd my D8 go? So that is 2, 5, 8 points of damage to it.
Okay. So as it runs away from you, you do 8 points of damage to the one that was running away. And then let's see. Spike, you just took your attack of opportunity. Demon Hound went. Ants are running away. So Dex, we'll go ahead and put the initiative back to you.
Okay. I can as an action with my precise attack trick, make a dex check to try and hide to give myself advantage on my next melee attack roll.
Yeah, go for it.
So I will do that. It's against the wisdom modifier, 10 plus the wisdom highest wisdom modifier of all active opponents. So whoever, between the two giant ants and the demon hound, whoever would have the highest wisdom modifier, let's see how well I can sneak versus that. That is going to be poorly with a 10. So Dex tries to gain some sort of advantage and kind of duck back into the wall, but he doesn't realize there's a rock behind him, and so he just kind of embarrasses himself instead. But he tries to play it off by scratching an itch.
It's like, oh yeah, I'm so casual.
Oh yeah, that was the spot, and contributes nothing this turn. Yeah.
Perfect. Who's going next, Dex?
Let's throw it to the demon hound.
Ooh, okay.
Because maybe, who knows, maybe it'll get himself flanked. I don't know.
I mean, let's see. Intelligence -3, so completely plausible. So as this demon hound sees the ants run away, it'll bark at those and then move itself up to be able to hit either of you here, and go to attack Dex, since he moved and tried to get away. That is dice numbers. That is 16 plus 6, so 22.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So you'll take 6 points of piercing damage from that bite.
Neat.
Oh.
Neat.
Did we just asking for a friend? I remember we were given healing potions. How many
Yes.
of those were
3.
there? So
One
we'll hypothetically each have one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Cool.
forgot to say I would distribute them, but yes.
That may come in handy. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Of course, I don't remember what the dice are with these healing potions. I'm assuming
What kind are they?
Just basic healing potions.
That's something like 2d4.
I
I'm
think
probably
so.
very wrong.
Probably 3d8.
Yeah,
don't
definitely. It's definitely that one. Yeah.
Roll bluff against Liz.
Hey. That is not the right page. Why did you send me to this page? It's really not useful. Okay. That's because I read the wrong page. Gotcha. So yeah, we'll call it 2d4 plus 2 for whatever the healing potion is, because I'm not gonna fight with trying to figure it out. Yeah, so you've all got healing potions on you, and we'll call that a bonus action to take one of those.
Oh, that's generous. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, so you had sent it to the demon hound. Demon hound did the bitey attack, and we'll say he moves to be flanked because not super intelligent. And the demon hound is going to pass that back to Spike.
Okay. Okay. The ant that was originally engaged on Dex looks pretty bad.
Yes.
Okay. I am going to, because the rock behind him, does that prevent Dex from going up and away? Should he have to get away, or?
Yes, basically.
Okay.
I would assume so.
I'm going to take my spear and just chunk it at the ant to give Dex the ability to flee or get away should he need to.
Perfect.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. That roll me some
My
damage.
guy.
Okay, so that's 2. So it just double my dice damage.
Go for it.
Okay, so that's 6 and 5 is 11 plus 6 is 14 points of damage.
Enough. How do you want to do this?
I basically, as I hurl the spear, it goes through the ant and pins into a soft spot in the rock and pushes the entire body away from Dex.
Mission accomplished. Dex has an escape route if he needs it.
Okay.
My hero.
And that's it for my actions.
Alrighty, who are you gonna pass that torch to? I think your options are the ants or Althea.
Let's go ahead and go with Althea.
All right. I'm gonna shoot the scary demon dog. I don't like it.
Perfect.
Okay. I hope anyway. I'm gonna use my burst of energy trick to give myself advantage on my rolls for the next round.
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness. That's better. I got a dirty 20.
That'll hit.
For 8 damage.
And what kind of damage is this?
It is just piercing. It's just a crossbow.
And are your crossbows magical or made of silver?
No, I don't think so. I wasn't expecting a demon boy.
That's okay. So you said 8?
Yeah.
Perfect. Alrighty, so that puts, I think the ants are left in this initiative, right? Because they hadn't gone this round yet.
That is correct.
Alrighty, then these two are going to continue running away from the demon hound because they're still afraid. And then the one here is going to roll a 2 and try to hit Althea and fail miserably. And then they'll send this back to Spike.
Okay. I will draw my sword and then try to impale the wolf with it.
Perfect.
Because I am opposite side with Dex, that gives me advantage for flanking.
Sure.
Okay. How about a 10?
10. 10 will miss the demon hound. Thick hide and bone spikes. Gives it a defense of 15.
Okay. I will go ahead and pass it over to Dex real fast.
Perfect.
Lovely. Did I hear that we have advantage in this attack? That's rather nice. I need that to hit this thing. Let's see. Hopefully the second one is better. Yes.
There we go.
Rolled a 10 total the first one, but a 25 on the second one.
25 will hit.
And I'm going to use my precise strike or precise attack trick. Once per turn, I get to add a d6 to a melee attack if I have
Exciting.
advantage or etc. So that is going to be 1d8 plus 6 plus 1d6 of perfectly mundane piercing damage for 15.
15. Very
a good
nice.
bit of mundane damage.
Yeah. Thank you. For that
Alright.
bonus action that you so generously offered, I will 100% roll that 2d4 plus 2 for healing and get
Nice.
back
Off that
7.
potion.
Yeah. That and for spoilers, that 7 was more than my health before drinking the potion. So thank you, Heinrich. The only good thing you've done in the last few years.
Pretty much.
Technically, he had the servants do it, but you know.
Yikes. Yikes. Oh no. Okay, and who are you gonna pass that to, Dex? Your options are, I believe, Althea, the demon hound, or the ants.
Yeah, let's pass it to the ants because I'm
Okay.
just going crazy.
Gotcha. All right, so these two ants at the bottom, one has been damaged, but they are still afraid of that demon hound, and they're gonna scurry back into their holes and run away. The one that's here is gonna try and take another attack at Althea, which is a 7 plus 6 is 13.
Not quite.
All right, then they're gonna miss. So you are now getting used to their attacks, and they you are dodging them deftly. And that is the ant's turn. They'll pass it back to Althea.
Right. I'm gonna hit the. I'm gonna hit the hound. It's like much more threatening than the ants. Or am I? Yeah, no, I got like a 6. I don't think I get him.
Nah, not with single digits. That hound turns, and just out of his side eye, he's able to see you make your move, and was able to jump just out of the way so that crossbow glances off of him. And that would be the demon hound's turn, because I think that's the only one left here. In this particular round, and he's going to Dex, did you hit him the last time you did you do damage?
I did 15 points of damage.
Ooh. Okay. And it's angry, so it will try to hit you again, Dex.
And as a free action, Dex will say, "If you strike me down, I will become more powerful than you can imagine." Hoping that these words of the old ones will bless him.
Well, it rolled a 4, so does a 10 hit you?
No, old one saved me.
Yes!
You will forever believe in those words now.
Forever.
And
man.
for that, we'll go back to the top of the round with Dex.
All right, outstanding.
See if you can ride this wave.
With advantage, even my best attack was a 14.
Oh, that just misses. That
Yeah.
just misses. You sure you don't have an extra point in anything?
Oh,
You
can
know.
he use a thing?
Fortune point.
Fortune?
So you already rolled with advantage. If you use a point of
Oh.
fortune, you get to roll your advantage again, but you have to take whatever the dice is. So it's not an either or, you have to pick it. So yes, you could use a fortune, and you could roll again.
Go for it.
I mean, all right.
Do it.
And that's just one more roll then?
Yep.
Okay. 24.
Oh goodness, roll some damage.
Oh man. All right. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage. Not quite as good, but still 13.
13. We'll take that. This hound is not looking too hot. He is hurt. He's absolutely hurt. Is that your turn, Dex?
Yes, he drives his rapier at this hound till he'll shout out to Spike, "Finish him off," and popcorn it over.
Okay.
Get him, baby.
8 and 6 is 14.
14 just misses.
Okay. So
And that was with your advantage?
yeah, I got a 7 and an
Oh,
8.
Okay. I was just hoping, I
Aw.
understand it. I too just missed 2 attack rolls without a fortune.
You could try once more and use another fortune. You still got 4 of them in the pot.
Yeah,
Any-
go for it,
any
man.
objections?
Do
Okay, do it.
Okay.
The end is nigh.
That turned out to an 18 to hit that time.
That'll hit.
Okay. So that's 6 plus 6 is 12 points of damage. Piercing damage. I'm sorry, slashing.
Okay. A stiff wind would take this thing over, so not looking great at all. Starting to bleed this weird ichor in whatever demons bleed, and the light is dimming in its eyes. Is that your turn?
That's it, and I will go ahead and give it over to the ant.
Ants. Alrighty, so this ant is going to futilely try and take one more bite at you there, and that is an 11 to hit. Althea.
Oh, nope.
Oh, as they go to bite, they cannot, and they are there. That's it. And the ants will roll it back over to Althea before the demon hound.
Right. I will use my burst of energy trick again.
Perfect.
we'll have one more after this. Does it need any better? I don't. So. I know what numbers. 18 plus something.
That'll hit.
19. Okay, yeah. Okay, so.
Perfect. Roll me some damage.
That's okay. 7.
7. So reminder that you can use fortune to reroll damage as well. But you have to take whatever the new number is. You can't revert to that 7.
What do you think, boys?
How do you quantify a stiff wind? Is she just goading us into spending our fortune? I don't know.
Oh, the way you've been rolling 20s, I'd say go for it.
All right.
I have no objections. I mean, this is a
I don't
demon.
either.
This is demon hound.
Pray to the old ones for me.
Oh no!
That was a 1.
Did you roll 1?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So what's your new damage?
So that's 5.
5. Alrighty. So as you go out to strike this demon hound with another crossbow bolt, it ends up being a slightly angry caress, and this thing is still standing.
It's slightly angry, correct?
Wish we could have used fortune to turn that into a silver bolt.
I know, right?
And then I think that's the demon hound's turn. So the demon hound was hit last by Althea. So the demon hound is going to step up and try and take a bite out of you. And that was a natural 1, so they're not going to. They tripped over that rock, and the crossbow bolt that lightly caressed it, and completely misses you. And we'll go back to Spike.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
I'm going to move in right there and then strike against the hound.
Perfect.
And that is a 7 plus 6 is 13.
Oh, that'll miss.
Okay.
All right, is that your turn?
That's it. I only get 1 attack, so.
Who do you want to pass it to?
I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to Althea real fast. She's got herself in a predicament here.
Okay. I'm gonna use my last advantage roll.
Okay.
Thank goodness. That's better, but not enough. 14.
14. You just missed the hound again. Just missing.
Did.
And are you gonna pass it to Dex or to the ant or to the hound? What would you like to do?
I'll give it to the ant, I guess. I mean, what else does he have to do?
So there's a 16 plus 6. So 24 to hit you.
Finally.
Yep.
Yeah, then that is 5 bite damage for you there, Althea. And then the ant will pass it back to Dex.
What a kind ant.
Yeah, such
I
a
will.
sweet enemies.
Right? Aw. Aw, precious. I will, although to be fair, that demon hound did frighten off his ant friend.
That's
so
true. That's a mean hound, man.
I don't know.
Probably
In
just
any
wants to
case,
fit too.
I want to look a gift ant in the mouth. That is only a 13 to hit.
No! The last 2 hit points of this demon hound.
Jesus!
Spoiler.
Keeps it up. And it's going to go ahead and try and take another bite at Althea, who hit it last. That is 13 plus 6, a 19 against your defense.
Mm-hmm.
6 points of bitey bite piercing damage.
Ouchie, it's bitey and it hurts.
Alrighty. And the demon hound is, I think, the end of this round. So let's send it back to Althea.
Okay. No, 14. Gah!
14 to hit the
Yeah.
hound.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that misses again. Who are you gonna pass it to?
I will give it to Spike.
Okay.
That is 8 plus 6, 14. Dang it!
Who are you gonna pass it to, Spike?
Dex.
All right. Let's try this again.
Come on, buddy.
A 14 also.
Oh my
Oh man.
We're gonna use a fortune point just so we can hit.
swear.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'll pass it to the ant.
I guess.
Alrighty. So the ant is gonna that's a 10 to hit there. Does that hit, Althea? Alrighty. And then that's 11 to take a bite out of you from the hound.
Mm-mm.
No? Alrighty. Then we're gonna go back to Dex.
All right.
And this
Try
thing is
again.
thoroughly flanked. So did you guys roll with advantage last time?
No, I
Yeah,
don't think
I
any of us did.
I didn't think
Yeah.
it was flanked, so I didn't roll for advantage.
Well, let's technically say that it's flanked.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Well, then we will start rolling for advantage then.
16 on both of them.
Awesome. So go ahead and roll me some damage on this demon hound.
All right. Using
Watch and roll,
again
too.
my
Yeah.
precise attack because I have an ally within 5 feet.
Perfect.
That is going to be 13 points of damage.
How do you want to do this?
Awesome.
This demon hound that has been biting at us and has hit, I think, all of us. Definitely Althea and I. Is frustrating Dex. We've all taken turns messing at it, and so he will take his rapier and say to the demon hound, "I have to tell you something. I am not left-handed," and he'll drive his rapier through its head.
Perfect. And so as this demon hound crumples, you feel a slight sense of victory until you look up and see the giant ant behind it. Who are you going to pass this to?
Have we all gone? No, this is the start of a new turn. Okay. Whew. Yeah, I'll pass it to Spike.
Right. All right, and here goes the ant.
Yeah.
That is a 19 plus 6, so 25. I can hit the
That'll
ants.
hit. That'll hit.
So that is 5 plus 6, 11 points of damage.
Alrighty. So as you go ahead and hit this ant for 11 points of damage, it is struggle busting, but it is still up.
All right, Althea.
Struggle.
Struggle busting.
All right. No, that's 6.
This is 6. Is 6 total or 6 on the dice?
6 total.
Okay, well, yeah, you go to strike that ant. It sure misses.
It's quivering too much.
But it rolled a natural 1 on trying to attack you, so it's not gonna hit anyway.
Oh, good.
Um,
It tripped over one of the many arrows in the ground next to it because I can't hit the dang thing.
do you want to shoot it one more time? Go for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well,
Sure.
because it's the end of that round, and so
You get
Try
it?
get him.
see if you can get him.
Oh, 16.
That'll
I
hit.
need him.
Roll me some damage.
That is 12.
Ooh.
How do you want to do this?
I will just growl and hit that little ant right in its mandibles.
You are certainly able to do that. So, as quiet falls over the cavern, as the last ant falls, you know that the acid marks in the walls are belonging to more ants, and it's part of their burrowing effect is what creates those pock marks. So, having fought them now, and as that quiet falls, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna check to see to make sure both of them are okay. Both Dex and Althea, to make sure they didn't get hit too many times.
I'm
Mhm.
not cheap, but I'm okay. I still have my potion.
How are you, Dex?
A little over half.
So, okay.
So mechanically, not quite bloody.
Okay.
Okay.
I flailed around, didn't get hit but once, so
Nice.
Wow.
Man.
I hand you my healing potion in case, so that you can have it in case you need it for anything.
Well, thank you, sir.
Aw.
And then I will retrieve my spear from the impaled ant.
Oh yeah, I gotta pick up my arrows.
Yes. Since this book is more about resource allocation than
Uh-huh.
I'm used to, I guess you do have to collect your arrows and do whatever that is if you would
I
like
make like
to.
a roll or something.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um. Let's see. Perfect. So you're able to collect at least half or more of the arrows that you put out. We'll just go ahead and say that. Your spear, you're able to get back out of that wall, unless you feel like you would have broken it. And you find yourself in this empty cavern, with two exits at the back, both of which seem to lead upwards. And then that exit behind you that leads back to that storeroom. This room also still has an what appears to be an altar in the middle with what still appears to be a book on top of it that was not disturbed by the animals as they came towards you.
Does anyone want to go look at the book?
Spike will look at Dex. Want to go? We can go together.
I'll go with you
not
too. Just
particularly, but
more
if
of
that
a-
is for the completionists in the group, why not?
yes.
Might be more proof about what Heinrich is doing here.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
let's go look at that book.
Checking the altar for traps as we approach.
You're skilled in this. You don't foresee any other traps within the room. We'll save you a roll.
All right.
So who picks up the book?
I guess Spike will. He doesn't think anything about it. He just thinks it's a book.
Okay. So Spike, as you pick up the book, you realize that as you go to open it, it only looks like a book. It's not actually a book. The cover is rigid and cannot be opened, and the edges are only carved to look like pages. It's also heavier than it should be, and there's a slight vibration as you hold it. Clearly, this is a masterwork artifact.
Ooh.
I just turn real slowly back toward Dex and Althea. It's like, I don't think this is a book. It won't open and it's vibrating in my hands.
Oh. I'll take a look at it, I guess.
So I just kind of hold it out with both my paws, and if somebody takes it from my hands, not a problem. Otherwise, I sit there and just hold it in my paws for them to inspect it from the directions they want to.
Oh, I'll take it and look at it.
Do any of you have the No Arcana skill?
Nope.
Okay. Well, it's a book and looks like an artifact. It looks like a book that looks like an artifact.
Cool.
It's Chilton's Guide.
You
mechanic.
currently have no idea what it does, or what to do with it. So, you could head back to the mine. You could head forward into the mines. You could head back to Levi. Both would be options that would lead you to an acceptable ending.
Shall we go to the mines and rescue the workers?
That is what we promised Gath we would do.
All right, let's go.
Indeed.
I'll slide the book into my rucksack.
Perfect. Are you guys gonna sneak, or are you gonna bust in guns a-blazing?
Well,
I'm feeling guns a-blazing. Feel like we took care of the scary doggo.
Yeah, I have no... unless Dex or Althea warned me about safety precaution, Spike is just marching headlong straight ahead, spear in hand, torch held up high so he can see everything.
I think right as Dex was about to suggest stealth, he's like, and you're already halfway across the room, he just shakes his head and follows.
Alrighty, so since you're at the front of this, burst through that door and roll me some intimidation.
Oh, awesome. I'm skilled at that. So,
Nice.
Yay!
so that is an 18 plus 6, so 24.
So, as you bust into this room with torch and sharp implements of destruction in hand, you are met with 2 Doberman dressed guards, so Doberman livery guards with a number of workers in the background. And those guards take one look at you, drop their spears as they are not paid to deal with this, and stick their paws slowly in the air. What would you like to do?
I just walk up closer to him and hold them at spear point and look over my shoulder to give Dex and Althea time to come in the room with me and spare rope so we can tie him up.
I do have rope in my rucksack. I'd be happy to donate to the cause.
Perfect.
Yeah. Also,
You have tied up the 2 guards. What would you like to do next?
Look over at workers and see what they're doing to make sure we're not going to get waylaid by them. And
so while the workers was a poor term, I apologize. While the slaves have stopped what they're doing pretty much upon your entrance, they are turning to look at you guys as you're tying up their guards, almost with hope.
we've come here to put an end to this operation. You are all free to go.
and I reach into my my pouch that I had, pull out the extra beef jerky I shoved in a few minutes ago, and just offer it out to whoever wants to take it.
Perfect. Okay.
Althea will probably add, like, you may leave as soon as you wish, but if you want to stick around and find some aid in getting back to your homes, we'll do whatever we can to help you.
And Dex would offer to kind of describe as best as he can where any traps might be along their escape route. Tell them about the tents and everything.
We'll lead them
Unless we're
out
planning
too
to
if
lead
they
them
want
out.
to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know how many people were here.
Me neither.
There.
Yeah. So I would say over the course of the next hour and a half or so, you're able to clean out the warrens, intimidate or dispatch any other guards that are within the mines, as they relied heavily on the demon dogs and politics to keep them safe. You are able to collect up probably 15 or 20 slaves that are currently available, and with instructions on where to find the others that are not currently working as they work them in shifts. And you feel like it would be relatively easy that once you got these testimonies and your information back to the King Puckington, it would be relatively easy to release the others.
Awesome.
Yay!
So there are others that are in the mine still currently?
So that you've gathered up all the ones in the mines.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the others are being held somewhere that we don't know about?
So you gather from the ones that are currently in front of you that there's another 30 or so in housing just beyond the mines that are a little more heavily guarded.
Okay. That alters my plan a little bit. I will not try and explode the mine then.
With this information that we found in the workers' testimony, we should be able to remove Heinrich's influence over these mines.
Awesome.
Althea will also offer any of the guards, like, listen, you can either help us convict the Doberman family, or you can probably get thrown in jail. So up to you.
Roll me some persuasion.
Ooh, baller. 19.
Nice.
19. So the guards that you've managed to round up and have together, they pretty much all make sure they don't get real lucky here. They did not. That is a 4 and a 2 on the dice.
Oh, buddy.
Boy, howdy. They definitely start nodding at you, saying, "Absolutely, we'll do whatever you want. Just don't kill us." Kind of answers that and they're in full agreement. They don't want to be thrown in jail for following orders, and they don't want to be killed on sight for following orders. So yes, none of them have a strong enough will of their own to stop you. And they gladly offer up keys and maps to where the rest of the slaves are being held, and to get safely in and out of the mines.
Okay. Well then, should we take all this information back to Gath and let him inform the king, or?
I think that would be good, because I want him to be able to get out from his father's shadow, kind of, you know?
Possibly inherit his father's authority or role?
Yeah.
Because he was a good pup that brought all this to our attentions and doing what he can to help these poor cats.
And they have a bunch of resources that could go towards a lot of good things if someone would be willing to put them towards those good things.
Very well.
Yeah.
I say let's take all this back to Gath and give him all the evidence, and we can go with him to the king and be able to support anything he finds out.
Yeah.
So you're able to help everyone get back through the tunnels, back out to the town that has been abandoned. The cats are grateful for your assistance, especially in helping, take care of the little bumps and bruises that they've got, and make sure those that can't walk on their own get carried. The cats are surprisingly willing to accept help from a bunch of dogs like yourself. So, it's a bad situation. But you're all able to get back out to where Graf is, and Levi, who you find awkwardly sitting across from a fire from one another with another mug of something that has gone cold long before, staring in awkward silence at anything but each other. And you see Graf jump up, because it's been 3 hours since you guys went into here, 3 or 4 hours. So dusk, you come back out to the site of dusk, and Graf jumps up and starts to help ferry people from the group that you've brought back out. He's relatively useless when it comes to bandages and what have you, but he's really good at carrying things. So
good.
Even though some of them still shy away from him because of his Doberman face. What are we doing now?
I guess we'll leave it up to the people whether or not they want to come with us to Pugmire, or if they just want to stay here, if they feel safer, instead of just going into like a city full of dogs. Either way, we'll go tell the king and get stuff done to fix everything.
Yep. Collect up the books and everything. So
perfect. Do you share the artifact with Levi, the fact that you found it?
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about that. No. The artifact, I think we should just take it straight back to the king himself.
Perhaps I might know someone who could help identify it. There's no need to take such a find and give it away. It's well outside the scope of what we're asked to do. And
I didn't want to give it to him. I just wanted to let him look at it.
So you did find him praying. You think that he may have some more knowledge of the arcane than you guys do.
Oh, to Levi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He seems
No.
like a
We could show it to him.
Yeah.
I
You don't
suppose.
have
Yeah.
to. You can just take it back with you. That is a-okay if you would like to do that.
I'm
mean,
not
he
opposed to
gave-
showing it. Yeah.
He gave us a chance. I'll give him a chance.
Okay. So, as you hand this to him, and as he holds it for a minute, doing the same things you tried to do, you see this realization dawn on his face, that he knows what this is, and he looks at you guys and is, this is what's known as the Badger's Bane. If you speak a lie when holding it, you feel man's punishment. I don't know why, but it just happens. So when I say you, or anything that you say while holding it, you'll know if it's the truth or not.
How fortunate.
Yeah. And yeah, you should take this back to Heinrich, and have Heinrich stand in front of the king and swear that nothing untoward has been going on. He will be unable to hold this book for very long, if he's willing to touch it at all.
I like this plan.
Yep.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your help here, Levi.
Yeah.
So,
So let's see. So, are you guys just gonna take this back to town, take it to the king, and let them deal with the fallout here?
yep.
Yes.
Perfect.
And I'll try to put in a good word for Graf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, Graf
he
is
did
gonna
so good.
Graf is gonna go with you.
Yeah.
And he, as he hears all of this, he kind of comes back out of his shell, and you see a little bit more of that confidence, and he asks, "Can I be the one to handle the book? And if this is something of value, you can gladly take it with you on your adventures. I don't need it past bringing my father to justice. Just let me travel with you a little bit longer to salvage my family's honor."
Of course.
You can travel with us all the way to the king, and we will let him know that with your help, you brought this horror of a situation that your family had done to this town and to all the stray cats. Even
Yes.
though they're cats, they should not be punished and forced to work like this.
No.
So as you travel back quietly through the forest, and able to parse out enough seats between all of the horses, for the people that want to go back to Pugmire proper, and even though you're walking and it takes a few days to get back, oh, you yawned. Okay.
We all are really tired.
Oh man, it's been a week that feels like a decade. You all have been awesome for holding out here. So as you get back to Pugmire, you're able to go straight to King Puckington without being waylaid by the Dobermans or their lackeys, and take every shred of evidence that you have along with the book, and he immediately sends for Heinrich. And of course, Heinrich, when he approaches, denies everything and refuses to touch the book, somehow being aware of its properties, especially at the further urging of the king, he won't touch it. But that being said, with enough voices to be heard, Heinrich is immediately taken away and put in the equivalent of handcuffs, for the king to handle at a later date. And you hear from the king, "You showed great strength and courage, and we are in your debt." And sorry. So you showed great strength and courage, and we are in your debt. But I fear I must ask for your help one last time before you go. You see, the Dobermans are a powerful noble family. If they choose to withhold their resources, it could mean that we will not be able to defend ourselves against attackers. It could mean that a great many dogs will be without work and income to feed their families. It could even lead to civil war. What Heinrich did was wrong. He is, without a doubt, a bad dog. But would I be a bad dog too in allowing so many to suffer if I expose him? This is where I need your help. Should I expose Heinrich, or should I instead work to reduce Pugmire's reliance on his money, soldiers, and mining resources? What do you think I should do?
I think, personally, if you expose him, we could still keep the resources since we have an ally in his son.
And Graf will speak up at that point. If my father is removed from power, there's nothing that you would have to worry about. I would work alongside you, inclining his head, and any you deemed fit to manage the resources of my father's household. And King Puckington will kind of take another look at Graf, who he didn't necessarily see immediately in the old sweatshirt for Har Bard, and didn't realize that with his demure demeanor that this was truly the son of Heinrich. But when Heinrich speaks up, he speaks up with a level of confidence and clarity that you hadn't seen before now that he's standing in front of royalty. And taken a bit aback, the king inclines his head and with a short ruff accepts the help and assistance. And he looks back to you adventurers. You'll be treated as heroes. If you don't mind staying on just a little longer, we'll get this all taken care of and you can take a rest here. Thank you all so much for your help. And with that, he dismisses you with kingly aplomb, and you're shown to quarters to rest, relax, and help those that you brought back with you.
Okay.
Yay.
As we're walking out, I sit there and put a good heavy paw on the back of Graf's back and say, "Good dog. You will make your family proud in the end."
Let us know if we can help you with anything.
Absolutely. For now, just I'll take whatever help you have. And you see that uncertain puppy once more.
Oh, buddy.
So you got your hero's end, you got your money. Anything else we would like to do to wrap this up? Anything else your characters need for closure?
No, not here.
Nope.
Alrighty.
Wait till my kids hear of our exploits.
Yeah.
I tell you, the puppies will be so happy. I shall regale each of them. Abacus, Bobbit, Roomba, and Zune.
I love it.
What lovely names.
Yep.
Yes.
Best names
Or
for the
most
best
treasured
puppet.
possessions.
But yeah, that's it. You guys are victorious. Thank you so much for coming to play this tonight. Quickly remind us where we can find you and how we can support you, and we'll go backwards. Paul.
Like I said before, y'all can find me in the Diasporia Discord quite often over at Thread Raiders, and you can find me as Monk2774 on Twitter to see what I'm going to be involved with, and I'll post any upcoming events there.
Yeah, sounds good. Jeff.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at coldbrewcrit, and the actual play coming out hopefully this winter, Pod Against the Machine. That Twitter handle is Pod vs Machine. And yeah, I'm also around the Diaspora Discord as well.
Awesome. And Amy.
You can find me at Kittenboxing on Twitter, and my podcasts at NQH Podcast, and then at C Kobolds, and Nerd Asylum's out there on Twitter as well. And I'm hanging out in the various servers for those things at any time. And I'm on the Dice Priority server now too. I'm also kittenboxing on Discord. Yeah, I know what words are.
Yeah. And you can find me here at Dice Priori. This is what I'm doing. If you are familiar with the Nerd Asylum, I recently did a Java with Joe, and he released that yesterday. And those are fun. So if you care who I am, you can go learn some more about me, for better or for worse. As much as come join our discords, follow us on Twitter. You can find me at No One You Know Backwards, pretty much on all social media. So if you like pictures of cupcakes, that's what I've got on my Instagram. My Twitter is mostly about community theater and the other amazing shows that we support and are a part of. Then don't forget that this coming Wednesday we will be running Feral Hogs 2 Electric Boogaloo. And of course catch our shows on Monday and Tuesday night as well. We've got the Heroes of Tribor on Monday night with Big Boy Season. And then Tuesday is Monster of the Week. They recently did some sort of ritual in which someone got stuck in a dreamscape, I think. And so that's full of drama and amazing shenanigans. And then Wednesday will be a hoot of a two-parter for this Feral Hogs, which you can own your own copy of out at the Green Ronin website, and support two of our amazing Dice Priority members, Chase and Matthew. And then I think we might go on a raid if we can figure out who we want to raid. And I appreciate you all being here. This has been loads of fun. So thank you.
It was lots of fun. Thank you for letting us come
Thank you,
play.
Liz.
Yeah. So we'll see if our great tech master can put us out to the outro screen, and we'll get ourselves out to a raid here in a second.